Perhaps the moon knows the secret of the new sound.
He's so bright and pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and
Open your mind. Let us begin our quest to find the new sound.
I've got new nicey zoo. I've got nice.
Look at the shine, everything we need.
I've got new nicey zoo.
Okay, let's have fun.
better bet him.
Nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new
Look at the shine,
nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new.
look at the shine.
He's so bright and bright, pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and bright, pull on the surface, pull on the surface. He's so bright and he walking on my face. Better bet him.
Nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new
Look at the shine,
nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new
Sound.
You must choose. Bimbo, bimbo. My name is Mr. Susan. You must choose, and now it is time for you to do the choosing. I am Mr. Dean.
I've got new
You must choose.
I've got nice.
Look at the shine. I am Mr. Dean.
I've got new
You must choose.
I've got nice.
Look at the shine.
Trapped in cabinets.
Can I get out? Will it get out? Cause he will.
You like a single time, Vince, single time.
Better bet him.
You like a single time.
He walking on my face.
Everything we need here. You like a single time, Vince, single time.
Better bet him.
You like a single time.
He walking on my face.
I did a rhyme.
Better bet him.
Nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo.
You better
I've got nice.
Look at the shine.
Nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo.
you better
I've got nice.
Look at the shine.
Nicey zoo. I've got new nicey zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine.
Hey, I did a song. Jupiter, I did a song. You ain't got one.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Dare Chat. That's right, it's on a weekend, obviously, of course. But anyway, my name is Daramouthe, or Dare for short. Look, I get it. You want to say Daramouthe? I get you're funny. Haha, funny. Guess what? You're a liar. It's Daramouthe. Try it again. You'll see what happens. No, but anyway, as he threatens the crowd. Anyway, I get to have on the wonderful Akagumo. Is that how you say it?
Akagumo, yeah.
Akagumo. I almost don't want arigato, Mr. Roboto at this point. After I keep bringing that
A
up.
little bit.
Aka's in the house. What?
I don't have my my stream stuff, my effects, but I would
That's all right.
put the air horns. To
Yeah.
play.
Fireworks would have been better. It's all right.
Yeah.
Fireworks been all right. Hey, thank you, Shori and Drax. I was just gonna call you Short for short.
Mr.
But
Shori,
yeah, Mr. Shori. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. But anyway, how are you doing, good sir?
we're doing well. Sunny day started off raining, and now it's sunny again. So as they say, just as the issue with the DDoS attack yesterday,
Uh,
after the rain comes the sun.
yeah, yeah. No, it's certainly sunny out. Yeah, well, it was sunny yesterday too, obviously weather-wise. But yeah, yesterday was a fun time for a lot of people, and of course, technical stuff happens, but it also goes to show they kind of need to update their system in order for that not to be too much of an issue. Because I imagine it was a lot of people who couldn't. Well, there were still people streaming when when I could join on the web, and then when I couldn't join on the web, it's like, oh, all right then.
Yeah, from what my experience was, we had, I think I was on 2 or 3 streams. I was lurking on some streams, and what happened was the streams that I were already in before the attack,
Yeah,
I kept watching them and it was working fine. But if I
yeah,
tried to go into another one, it wouldn't let me.
yeah.
So that was what happened in my experience.
Yeah, and there was a website called Down Detector I went to, and basically it seemed like
Yeah,
everything started before like a little before 2 o'clock, and so it was just a massacre, if you will. It was a technical massacre. People who were still able to stream could stream, but it still ruined their stuff up. It's not to say it doesn't happen on other platforms. I mean, what X was had their own thing not too long ago, where they got
yeah,
DDoS and all this stuff. But it does become very heavy apparent where I think for Twitter X's, you didn't notice as much, but you could still notice. But for Rumble, it was so apparent that many people were unable to even get on the website at all. And so that kind of shows you how a bit far behind they are. And being
yeah,
able to, I don't know how other platforms do, like I'm sure YouTube gets hit, every now and again, but I'm pretty sure they have separate compartmentalized areas that if one gets hit, that one gets taken care of and the other ones still work.
yeah.
So you do have that. So they have quite a ways to go before they can get ahead of that ball. But at least everything's back now. We can enjoy the sunlight a bit, and yeah, a lot of people. But yeah, so it's been an interesting time. It's right. It was a massacre, yes, except it was bloodless, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I come for king and country. Please, not that again. Um, but yeah, so you've been I know you're on other platforms, but how long you been on here? Rumble.
Rumble. I've been here since November, I guess.
Oh,
Let me
of
check.
24.
But I actually started here shortly after I started streaming overall, so it wasn't really that long after.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So yeah, I started in October. So I
Oh,
created an account in October, but I started streaming here later on because I was getting my stuff together,
yeah,
the
yeah.
equipment and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I did some streams on YouTube before starting here,
Oh,
and well, to me it was is much difference because in YouTube
mm-hmm.
I streamed I think 1 month like the same way that I'm doing right now with the fixed schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I only missed my schedule two times
Mm-hmm.
in like in the whole time that I'm streaming so far.
Mm-hmm.
And on YouTube, I don't get nothing, nothing. I've
Yeah.
never gotten nothing there. So it's 5 months now on Rumble. I just checked.
Yeah, it's YouTube. Well, I think people tend to forget is that YouTube is an ocean, and Rumble's
Yeah.
maybe more of a like a lake. And the comparison is vastly large. Don't get me wrong. If you were to look at Google Earth right now and to look all the collection of the ocean, and then look at um, Lake Michigan, that's the difference. That's
Yeah.
the difference. And of course, again, people experience platforms differently. I've seen where people do better on Twitch than they do on YouTube, or they do better on Kick than they do on Twitch, even though they're both clones of, Kick is a Twitch
Yeah.
clone. Um, I've seen people do better on Rumble than other platforms. I've seen people do better on YouTube than other platforms. Everyone experiences platform differently based upon what the content they do. Like, I mean, I know the content I do is not exactly an intention grabber just because it's something that's kind of hard to define. I can define it because I've been
Mhm.
doing it long enough. But when you're trying to tell someone, hey, would you like to come on a show that's about free flowing conversation and all this stuff and say, okay, what's the topic?
What are we
Like,
going to talk about?
yeah, what are we gonna talk about? Anything. And you're just like, "Wait a second, hold on. So you're doing a show where you can talk about anything, and that's it?" Yeah, it's called a free flowing conversation. Have you never had a conversation before?
Yeah, I know. Like when you
Hey.
said it, at the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, but what are we going to talk about?
Mm,
And I was like, I mean, it doesn't really matter if we're going to talk about something. I'm
mm,
sure something will come out of it.
yeah,
It will flow somewhere,
mm,
as every conversation does.
mm,
Eventually flow somewhere.
yeah,
So ideally, some people like to have the topic.
mhm,
Others don't.
yeah,
For me, I was like at the back of my head when you said the first time when you asked me, I was like, okay, but what are we going to talk about? And then I was like, okay, we have many topics to talk about. That's not really an issue.
Mhm.
Just get up there and do your thing,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, because the point of the matter is you already have a lot of people have to, I've had some of those people on, but you have a lot of people already have topic centered shows or content creation,
Yeah.
whatever, gaming, you have politics, you have all this stuff. And for me, it's just like, well, when I started doing this, I done like, trying different things. Like I streamed like gaming a bit or whatever, and I made pre-recorded videos because I didn't have the ability to multi-stream to both places. Because I do stream to both Rumble and YouTube. That's all I can handle right now mentally. Um, but when I started doing this, it was sort of just a happenstance of accident where I just had one person on, and it sort of just kind of lend itself sporadically. And then I think it was of April of last year is when I started to do like, you want to see what my calendar looks like. I mean, you know, there's my
Yeah.
calendar right there. So pretty much like that almost every month since, except for holidays and family events. After that, when I can say right now I've had over 200 guests, and people like, oh, that's, oh, whatever. It's like, no, you don't understand. It takes almost a year or more for a content creator for whatever they do to have that many guests on. It's not a numbers keeping thing. More or less, that's the more number I'm focused on rather than followers, whatever, because you never know. Um, Followers does not always equate to viewers as it goes, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I do this thing because of the whole conversational aspect. Because I mean, where is it that you just have someone who does free flowing conversation and they don't have anything to start with? It's just them and a mic and a camera, and that's basically it, right? That's usually what they tell you, right? When when I saw a lot of people ask content creators, "Oh, how do we start? How do we start?" And he said, "Just go get a camera and a mic." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sure, but it's not hard. Again, to start is not hard. That's not the hard part. The hard part is, for at least the challenging part for my end, is scheduling. It's always scheduling people because people have different
Yeah.
things going on in their life. They have different priorities and all that other stuff. So any person I get to have on is a gratefulness in itself because in order for someone to say yes is to take a dive, like you were just saying earlier. What are we going to talk about? Because you aren't sure. Like this could go anywhere, and I could get
Yeah.
into you don't want to get like a gotcha thing. Hey, Daviverse. But the point of the matter is this isn't a gotcha getcha sort of gimmicky thing. It's about just reaching across the table like you would have a family dinner, or you'd go to a restaurant with your friend and talk across the way. That's basically it. Except
Yeah.
there's no food, which now makes me upset.
I mean, there's these nuts.
Oh, oh! That jar looks a little low though, so you might want to fill up that.
Yeah. There's another one beside it.
Uh, is that when you're playing a game in someone's mouth and I was like, look at these nuts. Look at these nuts right there. That's right. That's right. You're gonna choke on them. Ah, no food. He had food. He had a bunch of nuts in his hand. That's that's what you want to see a guy do, is have a bunch of nuts in his hand and call it a day.
I keep it on my side, just as arm's reach, so I can find
Yeah.
it.
To with arms reach, that's hilarious. I just want to say, wait, did you say these nuts? What kind of nuts does he have? I prefer cashews more though, to be honest. I do
Yeah,
prefer cashews.
cashews
Um,
are my favorite as well. But
y-
it's a mix.
yeah, these nuts. That's
There's
right.
a
Davy
bunch of
Verse
them.
did that. They, but yeah, well, and the problem with cashews though, they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I can get, so here's this, right? I go to a grocery store, right? And I can get a container of mixed nuts, Brazilian nuts, walnuts, all this stuff, pecan nuts, right? Sometimes they have different flavored ones, sometimes they're less salted, that sort of thing. I can get them for like under probably $70. I go and get, I love pistachios. Oh, pistachios good. They even do flavored pistachios out there now. So there's
Yeah.
that too. But I go out there and I can get, so
Also
this,
expensive.
yeah, still expensive though. But I could get the same type, container size, right, of the mixed nuts and the cashews. And the cashews will always be more expensive. And it's
Yeah.
just like even getting the regular peanut ones, right? Even getting the regular peanut ones are less expensive than a whole can. Actually, you know what? The more expensive one is whole cashews. Whole
Yeah.
cashews are more expensive than their pieces or
Mhm.
whatever part. whole cashews are expensive as heck, but I still love them to heck though. Oh my gosh, still
I
love
guess
'em.
it's because of the way it's produced. Because growing up in Brazil, my grandma used to make those.
Mhm.
She would take the cashews,
Yeah,
remove because
mhm,
it's the top part of the cashew, right? You remove that top part,
yeah.
and you have to roast them, and it takes so long.
Oh my gosh.
And she was roasting like the whole afternoon, making a big bowl,
Mm,
mixing it, and it took like the whole afternoon to make a batch.
wow.
And I think that's why it's so expensive.
It,
Probably industrially, it's a little bit
mm,
easier, but the whole process dev probably costs a little bit more than the other ones to produce.
yeah. Well, I do know because the cashew, as far as I've seen, it's like a fruit, right? It's like part
Yeah,
of the fruit. So what happens to the other part then?
you can eat it. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
good as well. Yeah.
I wish it
In
would
Brazil,
sell.
we eat it a lot. They're very common.
Oh,
Everywhere you can find them.
wow.
And then the top part, which generally you would kind of twist and break off.
Mm.
It's kind of like the talon that connects the fruit
Oh,
to the tree. And then you
nice.
break that part off, and then you take it.
Mhm,
It's like a big black part like this,
mhm.
and then you roast it in an open fire, and it kind of
Oh,
boils and cooks inside, I think.
wow. Yeah, because I remember, um, I think you can find it. I think you can find what. Here we go. Ah, there we go. All right, give me 1 second. This is what a cashew looks like, an actual cashew. So there's the fruit cashew right there. Those are the nut parts, but so essentially that's
It's
what.
inside, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we, that's what we get right there. That's what we get. It's kind of funny too because it has that nice little like half moon look. But yeah, but you can. I wish they would sell the fruit part though, but I don't think they do that for the U.S.
The fruit is really good, yeah. The fruit is really good.
Cashew
We
apple.
do like juices and things like that in Brazil from it. It's really
Wow.
common, especially in the area I lived in, which would be central
Mhm.
Brazil.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
you would go out in the woods and stuff, and you would find them pretty easily.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, again, that's because I know what is it like? Again, Brazil nuts, right? Brazil nuts is another one that's.
Yeah,
But those things are so. I think they're like, if I can remember correctly, they're like in a coconut sort of thing, and you have to break it
yeah,
open in order to get the nuts. That's insane.
yeah. And it's like it's a big ball, and you break it apart, and there's smaller nuts inside that you have to break apart as well. So
Oh my
the
gosh.
actual nut that you eat is inside like two capsules.
Yeah, that's insane though. All of that to get just one nut, and they mass
Yeah.
produce like planters and stuff. They mass produce all that for all that, and it's just insane. Looks like a Smurfs hat. Well, sort
It
of.
does, yeah. Upside
But
down.
yeah, upside down. Yeah, yeah. But no, yeah, that's pretty awesome. That I mean, again, when I saw that, PM, I wish I could be off work already. Oh, well, I hope your work goes quick then. Especially when you're not paying attention to the clock. I've learned this. If you pay attention to the clock, it goes slow. If you don't pay attention to the clock, it goes fast. That's how it
True.
goes. That's how it
That's
goes.
why they say time is relative.
Yeah, or the saying is watching a pot. What's that saying? Watching a pot boil doesn't get it there quick or something like that.
Yeah.
If I can remember. But yeah, no, that's just pretty funny, on that regard. But yeah, I hear you about the work stuff. I have a full time job too, so
Yeah.
being able to do this thing because my job allows me to be able to do this process as well, like later in the day, and usually that's why I'm so like anytime after 4 p.m. Eastern during the weekday is all I can do because I get off, at like 3, and I gotta have some time to eat. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, so are you still in Brazil
No,
or
no. Right
you're not?
now, so I've moved to Portugal
Mm,
last year, shortly before I started streaming, actually.
mm,
So I think um, I got to Portugal in October,
mhm,
and then I started streaming on the same month, essentially.
mm.
October or September, I think I started streaming.
Yeah, because I think Rumble's still banned in Brazil for right
It
now,
is. It is, yeah.
which
Which
sucks.
is why I multi-stream,
Yeah,
so that my friends and family in Brazil can actually watch me when they want,
yeah,
because otherwise they wouldn't be able to.
yeah,
And there was like a big problem with VPNs as well because they actually banned X for a while too.
yeah.
Not sure if it's still banned, but it was banned, and
Mm,
people were using VPNs to access it, and they were kind of finding people and pursuing legal action against people who were using VPN. And
Jeez.
so it was a complicated topic.
More like a prison state, really, at that point. Um,
Yeah.
you just like he didn't go full Gestapo and started rounding people up and putting them in prisons.
Yeah.
Although I imagine they weren't too far from that either. But again, it's Brazil.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I think Rumble's still uh, Brazil is no, France is still banned. Russia I think banned them. Um, what other countries are out there? I know it's those two right there. But I mean, it kind of goes to show you again not only the politicalness of it all because it is unfortunately, but that for content creators that multi-streaming is going to be the key for the future because I get being on one platform. Look, I've seen so many people just be on YouTube. I get it. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I've also seen the stories of what YouTube does to content creators on their platform.
Yeah.
And you are so think of it this, you are a ship on a sea and YouTube is your wind. Guess what happens when the wind stops blowing? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And YouTube likes to play favorites as well, but it's Google. It's basically Google. So there's a whole bunch of stuff with that. So, but I know. So you're on Rumble and I on YouTube. What other platforms are you on?
Twitch.
Hmm.
It's just Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch. I did go to Odyssey for a while, but Odyssey was weird. I
Oh.
didn't feel like it was doing well.
What
Um,
What do you mean in weird?
um, so I don't remember exactly what happened, but I tried streaming and it wouldn't let me stream because I wasn't in a certain geographic location. Not
Interesting.
sure if it was just US or something like that, but it wouldn't let me stream at all. It didn't give me the key to connect, right? I had the account, everything set up, but I couldn't stream.
Mm,
And then I was like, okay, that's weird.
yeah.
And I kind of stopped trying to stream there. And then I just, at the time, I was looking at Rumble already. I didn't really start streaming yet, but I was
Yeah.
looking at it and I said, okay, let's do Rumble. And
Yeah.
then I took it out. And I kept YouTube and Rumble only. Twitch came in much later.
Oh, okay. Well, how's your experience been on Twitch then?
It's been, I would say it's been better than YouTube so far. So we'd had stream snipers,
Oh.
funny enough, from Twitch.
Oh, wow.
It was a guy trying to, I think he was trying to, what's it called? Advertise his hacks on Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone.
Oh.
Because he was like literally finding me even if my screen was hidden. And like
Just,
I did a game with him, like I was playing hide and seek with him on stream,
uh,
and I would hide my my screen, and I would leave just my face,
mm,
and I would say, okay, you can find me now, and then I would just leave the audio for me, and he wouldn't get anything on the stream, right? He wouldn't get audio or video for the game, just
yeah.
for me. And then all of a sudden he would find me, right? And then he was always finding me in multiple matches. So whatever it was that he was doing, he targeted me specifically and was finding me on every match that I was.
Hmm.
And that's what happened essentially. It was my first experience with the stream sniper. And I to be fair, it was really funny
Yeah.
because we had a laugh.
Yeah.
Everyone had a laugh. And at the end, I discovered that he had his Twitch account is promoting a hack website that produces hacks for Warzone. So I guess he was trying to promote it.
Mm. Yeah, and stream sniping is when they find you in IRL, right? They come and find you.
No, stream sniping. Yeah, that it would be if I was doing IRL streaming, but in this case of the game, he would be finding me in the game
Okay.
using my stream. And I
Okay.
like to pinpoint my location, but I think he was hacking, and he
Yeah.
targeted me specifically to find me wherever I was, independently of the game, because I would finish the game and go into another one, and he would be there the same way. So it was really
Sounds,
funny.
sounds awful. Yeah, I mean, you get people who will follow you just to be like, because they want to take you down or whatever. There's that too.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing. Like this whole thing with content creation, but funny. There's this whole thing with content creation that AA Comics, how are you? Hope you're doing well, good sir. There's this thing with content creation that I got into this because I just didn't know what I could do with it, and now I have something with it. I just kind of enjoy doing that part, and everything else beyond the conversation's a bonus. But it's this weird thing with content creation where it almost feels like to a big chunk of people who are within it, and it's a various amount of people, it becomes a numbers game, right? Like I get it. I get, showing off, like I done with my thing, like with the guests, how many guests I have. But that's the only numbers game I kind of go out because I I don't I've never been one, even though I look at them, sure, I look at the analytics, sure, but I don't make my content based upon the numbers because what bec and this was my thing with monetization too, right? Now I'll see what you think. What becomes the point of content creation when and if monetization no longer was a thing, right? If money was no longer an object, no longer an incentive to any of the platforms at any point at all for monetization, would people who are still creating now create? And that's always been, and I'll get, and you can answer that in a minute. I just want to kind of complete out. For me, while monetization is a great benefit, it does kind of lend itself to wondering if people are creating because they just want to create, right? A great example is YouTube, right? If you remember YouTube back in the day, 2005, 2006, right? No monetization whatsoever. Now you could make a video to your business or whatever, and that was that. But there was no monetization process at all. So now we have that. So what is content creation now? Is it about the monetization? Is it about making networking connections and all that stuff? What is it about? That's more an individual question per person, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't answer for the whole. There's no way. There's no way. But for me, being in this and looking through this and all this stuff, I can't tell you how many times where it still comes down to being a numbers game, whether you rely on your analytics or whatever. And that's not coming at anyone. It's basically it's me just trying to point out a perspective I've seen through doing this. Now, for that question I asked earlier, what do you think?
Right. I think, as you said, it is something that is very individual to everyone.
Mm,
I didn't really think, like when I started because, for example, I have been playing games for, the bigger half of my life. I think since I was like 6 or 7 years old.
wow.
So it's been a long time. And I had a friend, I used to play, this was, I think, before COVID, during COVID, something like
Mhm,
that. And then I had this friend that I met online. He was an
mhm,
online friend. And we would play lots of games together, basically every day.
mhm.
Like after work or after school, whatever, we would go and play. And he was always saying to me, like, you should stream, dude. You're like really funny. Because we would have so many crazy things doing together in the games,
Mhm.
and it was so funny. And he was like, you should stream. Like you would do well in streaming. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Me? I was like, because I never really thought of me of that guy.
Yeah.
And I've always been very introverted. So
Mhm.
I think in the years, with the years, I've become a little bit less introverted.
Right.
But in general, I am very a quiet person and collected.
Yeah.
So he told me, and I was like, I don't know, I think not. And that was like 2019, 2020, right?
Right.
And then that was it. We spoke of it that time and never more. And
Mm,
then a few years later, I finished my university, got
mhm.
my degree, and started working.
Oh
And
wow.
then I got my computer rig built.
Right.
Because before then, I was using like computer that I built with used parts. Because
Oh
this is Brazil, and
yeah.
the economy is not that good.
Mhm.
And I was saving up and buying like used parts to build my computer, and it wasn't really a computer that would be fit to do a stream, right? It
Yeah.
was never going to be useful for streaming.
Mhm.
And so I built my computer, and then I was talking to him again, and he was like, "Dude, now that you have a better computer, you should
Mhm.
start streaming." And that was like I think 2023 by then.
Wow.
And I was like, "Okay, I'll think about it."
Yeah.
I'll think about it. and we continued playing normally. And then when I was coming here, I started to think about it, and I was like, maybe I should. It's something. It's something that I can do while I am already gaming. So
Yeah.
if I'm already going to be gaming, why
Mm.
not just make more friends and meet new people, talk to new people, and it started with that thought, right? It started with that, and then I went and I got my microphone, which
Mm.
is just this one over here,
Nice.
and I started working around and messing around with the OBS and stuff like that. Still not streaming, and I
Mm.
did this for like a year
Mm.
before I actually got to streaming.
Right.
So I prepared a long time, and once I started to stream, I was thinking about this. Right, I'm
Mm.
going to be gaming, so I'm going to stream. Every time I'm gaming, I'm going to be streaming.
Right.
And then with time, I got a job, another job, which is full time as well. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, I'm only going to game when I stream. So
Yeah.
it kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it's something that I do, I have been doing as a hobby.
Yeah.
And I never really thought, to be completely honest,
Uh-huh.
that, for example, I would have some kind of community
Yeah.
this early into the game, let's say.
Mm.
Because we have all these people here, Mr. Dopefrax, Troy Trax, Tony Gaming, and
Mm.
we have a lot of people that tune in every single stream to
Mhm.
my streams and talk to me, and
Nice.
we're kind of building a community, and it's really something that I wasn't expecting.
Mhm.
And when I first started, that was not my goal, to be honest. My
Right.
goal was to just do it because I was already playing, so there was not really nothing stopping me from streaming it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it ended up becoming this whole thing.
Yeah. It's the interesting of what the use of the tool in the right way can do. Because
Yeah.
obviously a lot of people use it for the wrong way, which unfortunately is the case for any tool we create. Um, but no, but no, that's pretty awesome because it's a doorway unto itself, right? Like it's a doorway for where it could lead to. Like for me, this thing is sort of a two-way street because it's an opportunity on both ends. You could say opportunity connection and whatnot, but it's an opportunity in the way of how you see fit for it. Because opportunity for me, um, opportunity is all around you in some form or fashion. It just depends on how much you're gonna let see, view it and whatnot. Because I know a lot of people get downturned, and you hear those stories of kids and stuff who don't see any more path in life and they just end it, and that's a sad turn of events because sometimes there's just things in life where one can't control, and so yeah, I kind of have to go. It's a sad turn of events, but um, there there is opportunity around and where you can allow yourself to look. And I think that's what people kind of tend to forget because they get worried about, oh, I've got the bills to pay, I've got all this stuff to pay. And I'm just like, you have to start somewhere. Obviously, you have to start somewhere. But if you worry too much, um, your door of the ability to see kind of closes because you're more worried about other stuff than just like, hey, there's an opportunity here. Let's pursue it a bit. Whenever, like I've pursued this thing for I don't know, what was it like towards the end of 23, I think it was. So doing it still, already had like the first, uh, full year of doing that calendar thing, like I showed you. So I mean, I'm still rocking it. It's still, again, still a challenge to get people on, but you would be surprised of who's willing to talk. And then again, I don't do this with just content creators. This is not a just content creator sort of thing. I don't just have content creators on. I've had people on who don't even show their face. I've had people on who don't create content. I've had people on who just, enjoy life in general. The point of the matter is, it's for just about anyone. But I think because of that's also another thing too is where you do have a lot of content creators. And it's a bit understandable, right? Because it's a trust reliability thing and all this stuff. But it's also that um, where it's kind of limiting when you just have other content creators invite other content creators on because I know the risk I take with doing this, right? If you invite somebody on who's not a content creator and is kind of nervous and all this stuff, which I've had, the movement of the conversation wholly relies on you. And that's
Yeah.
your medal of testing, right? Like, can you carry a conversation when the other person is sort of like a brick wall? Basically, you can get a few words out, but it's still a bit of a brick wall. And that's where the test of your metal comes from. But again, for me, that's the risk I take, and the risk itself has been highly valuable because, again, I see as someone with great character. Well, there you go. Look at that. I mean, he's the tech. He's got the tech savvy.
Appreciate it.
He's got the
Yeah.
right there.
It was a little wordplay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's funny. Um, but yeah, I just there are always palette challenges to it, but you know what? I've had an over 200 various guests, creator or not, and it goes to show that a conversation is possible across the way, no matter what, and that's what I'd rather continue with than just be fall into being a content creator only thing because I can't do that. There's
Yeah.
there Akagumo. I almost
Gumo.
want to
Call
say
me Gumo.
I want to say Aku just from Jack Samurai Jack. I am
Yeah.
the great Aku. Um, but Aka, it is so tremendous when you can use this tool, the internet, right, or streaming or whatever. When you can use these tools and you can reach across people from UK, Alaska, Australia, Norway. I've had someone from Norway on, Portugal. When you can reach across
Yeah.
so many spaces and the creator or not, and you can have a conversation with someone about whatever, my gosh, how powerful is that? Right?
Yeah.
I don't think people stop and think about that for once. I'm using this tool that at this very moment is allowing me to speak with just in milliseconds,
Yeah.
milliseconds, that I'm able to speak to someone across the way. And thank goodness he speaks English. Otherwise, this would have been a very different story. I don't understand. I don't know. No español. No español. Um, no, I'm sorry. It's no habla español. I forgot that part. Um, but yeah, that's how I see it because it's so and again, I look at other content creators who pick their niche and do their thing, and when you have people with tens of thousands of people following them, I'm just like, man, made y'all look what? No,
Yeah, you did.
Gofa. Oh my goodness, made y'all look crazy, man. But yeah, yeah, I know, and it sounds like with you, no español. I thought it was no habla español. Like no habla inglés. I know a little Espanol, Portuguese in Brazil. Hey, you know what? I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. It's not working out so well. Um, but yeah, with like what you were saying, you get to connect with people. And now, what are the? I know the last time I saw you, you were playing that Monster Worlds.
Monster Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, Monster Hunter. How's that been going?
It's been going great. We played it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Mhm,
I do it off every Friday because I want to finish that game. It's one of those games that
mhm.
I bought in a sale and it was sitting on my library and I was like,
Oh,
this game is really good because I've seen people play it before and I was like, why don't I play it? And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna start playing it, and then I started playing it, and I think it was the eighth eighth edition of the Fantastic Friday with
oh,
Monster Hunter.
mhm.
So it's been a recurring thing. Every week we do it,
Nice.
and I have like 30 hours on the game already just on that character. I think I'm not even halfway through the game. It's
Mhm.
because you get sidetracked. It's so many things that you can do, and
Yeah.
one of the biggest I would say the biggest features of the Monster Hunter series is
Mhm,
the factor of you hunting monsters to create your gear, so your
mhm,
armor and your weapons,
mhm.
and that's something that takes time because you have to find the monster runs away, you have to track them down, and
Yeah.
then you keep doing this back and forth. So it takes a lot of time.
Mhm,
But I think I were to just do the story,
mhm,
without worrying about these things, then I think it would be much faster.
mhm.
But that's not really the joy of the game. The joy of the game is experiencing everything that you have to experience, right? That's at least what I think is when you're playing a game, and
Mhm.
it's something that I do a lot in any other game,
Yeah.
especially in an open world format.
Oh
Is
yeah.
I don't go through the story directly. I
Mhm,
tend to explore the world and
mhm,
understand a little bit better how it is, and get to know the whole world and things like that. So
yeah.
it's been really good. We have a lot of people that come in every week to
Mhm,
see it. I've had people come in on YouTube. So this was one of the things that happened on YouTube is one guy came into YouTube and started talking to me,
mhm,
and he said like I'm in the game. And I was like, what do you mean? And
mhm,
then he said in the game, it's
Mm,
me and you two. And then he was in the game with me, and we were playing together. And he taught me a bunch of stuff because I didn't really, I don't really research how to play the games. I just go ahead and play it.
mm.
And I was doing something that was, not recommended. And he
Oh,
said, okay, you
oh.
should try doing this differently. And then I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I didn't know that, but
Mm,
now I will. And then I changed that aspect. Essentially, if you buy the game with the, I think it's the deluxe version or something like that, they give you like a really powerful gear.
ooh.
And if you use that right in the beginning of the game, then you're losing out on understanding how the mechanics work, right? Because you're
Mm,
you're just gonna one hit a lot of monsters, and
mm,
it takes out a lot of the progress that you make along the game.
mm,
And I didn't know that, right? I thought, like I was saying in the stream, like, why are these people dying? Everyone keeps dying, and I don't die.
mm.
And the guy was like, you're not dying because you're using the armor. And I was like, okay, maybe I have to change this. And yeah, it's the 11th version. Yesterday was the 11th installment of the Monster Hunter series.
Nice.
So every Friday we're doing it essentially.
Yeah, I've never played any Monster Hunter games because I have PC, so Steam's been very bad for me. Um,
Really?
when you've had over 200 games and you barely play any of them,
Yeah.
that's when you know. That's when you know.
Yeah,
It
I
turns.
think I have around 200 as well. And it's one of these games that I bought. It was on Steam as well.
It almost becomes like a digital shelf, except it doesn't collect dust.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
just like, oh man, because right now, I don't really have much time to play any game. I'm usually, you know, of course, we have full time work and all stuff. But I've been playing like I've been gone back and playing like modded Minecraft because I really enjoy that aspect. I can't go back and play regular Minecraft. It's just so God. Oh my gosh, crazy Goffle. No, 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 Goffle. No. They probably have a lot of retro games. I know GOG has a lot of
Yeah,
retro games too. But again, he owns all those games, right? GOG allows you to own the games DRM free.
yeah.
So it's been nice with that. And Steam is about 400. No, I'm sorry. No, I can't. I'm already done. I've left out the door. I've already left. Because I have some through GOG, and I have some through the Epic Game Store. For
Yeah,
those
me
who
too.
play, yeah. And funny thing about that though is that every once in a while they give out free games, and
Yeah,
if you download that game, you have it for life. So
yeah.
I have a lot of free games that I haven't played.
Yeah, my Epic games, the games that I have on Epic is essentially everything free
Mm,
that I got, either from, some giveaway or some, I think Amazon Prime at the time also gave me some games, and
yeah.
we had free games every few weeks. And then I just got like, I think I have around 100 there as well. So I
Mm,
think 200 on Steam, about 100 on Epic, and then on GOG I have I think 30,
mm.
which most of came from, oh, it's 52 games. Okay, that's a
Ooh.
lot. I didn't know that. But a lot of them are repeats
Mm,
that I had on Steam already,
mm.
but I just got them for free. So I was like, yeah, I mean, just leave it there.
Yeah.
It's not going to be doing anything anyways.
Yeah,
But
it's
I have so many games that I want to play,
mm,
and I don't own them. And then when I do own them, kind
mm,
of stops wanting to play them, and they're like, "What the hell?" Which was
yeah.
what happened with Monster Hunter. So I
Ugh,
kind of forced myself to get into it, and I've been enjoying it very much. I said this on stream multiple times. I
mm,
did not expect to enjoy Monster Hunter Worlds as much as I did, and as much as I am enjoying. So
mm.
I've been really happy with that one.
Yeah, because for me, it's funny how in the gaming content creator sphere, how that's much of you play the new game that comes out or you read
Yeah.
all that stuff, and how easily disposable that game is after you've done streaming it for your content,
Hmm.
and now it's done. Like I've seen a few content creator or gaming content creators won't even finish the game if they aren't getting enough views for it, which is just why, right? Why?
Yeah.
Well, because the funny thing is, if you are making it a business, you got to go where the money goes,
Yeah.
and which is
Exactly.
which is the sad part, right? Like no one should rely on one place for getting paid. And it's kind of hard to say when you're a full-time worker, but there's also
Yeah.
benefits too that I don't have to worry about, like dental, right? Little dental, little vision, right?
Yeah.
I get to go to the doctor and get only have to pay like a small little prepay beforehand instead of having to pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Game gypsies.
Game
It,
gypsies.
it,
A new term.
saying that reminds me of the Cher song "Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves," but I'm not gonna try to sing the rest. But no, it's just a very interesting thing of that sphere of content of
Yeah,
gaming
it
and
is.
content creation. Because then what are video games then? Are they? Because I know people go back to retro games, which is you see people play the old Zelda or whatever. That's great, but they're um that's it. How many people do you see play? Um, oh man, this is gonna be a hard one. Shipbreaker. Shipbreaker is a game on Steam where you kind of go through, welding, unwelding some ship parts, or
Mm.
taking whatever, kind of cutting down
Never
some
saw that
parts.
one.
Yeah,
Check.
Shipbreakers on. You can just look it up on Steam and you'll see what it looks like. Or people who play like dang
Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah, or like any of the Dragon Quest games. How many people are still playing the Dragon Quest game? There's a lot of games out there that it's just like after a certain point on the game creator side, they become
Yeah.
pointless. It's almost I saw Vlad playing Shipwrecker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I thought Vlad playing a game that very similar to Super Program. I wasn't sure if it was it. So it is.
Yeah. And I prefer retro gaming and I get better chatting games from them. Well, I mean, yeah, it just varies. But I mean, gaming content, gaming content is sort of a throwaway because the new game's coming out. All right, well, I better go test it out. Hey, here's my Switch, here's my Xbox,
Yeah.
here's my place. After a while, it gets so, oh man, it feels so exhausting because you're just
Yeah.
like, you gotta keep up with the point, and then you gotta, if it's not getting enough views or whatever, like I've seen some do, it's like out of the just put something else in, that's out. Um, but I mean, that's what that's what I'm so grateful for mine is because I can just go about anywhere. I mean, gaming you can go just about anywhere too, but you're
Sure.
limited by the systems you have, the consoles you have, right? Like you can't play a Nintendo game on PC, which is a sad fate. Sad fate. I'd love to do a little Zelda with a little mouse and key, but unfortunately, Nintendo's a very hoardy person, as they say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
And they're getting worse too.
what?
And they're getting worse too.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
I've been seeing the news about the Pal World thing, and that's just sad. It
Yeah.
really is. I mean, I guess there may be some things we don't see. Like, I guess there could be some similarities if you think about it, but at the end of the day, um, it's just like they're not using your stuff. They're
Yeah.
taking stuff that's out of box. Who wants to see a Pikachu wield an AK-47? I mean, come on. That was the whole point of that first trailer when it came out. Pikachu with an
Exactly.
AK-47. All right. Pikachu's about to Pikachu you in the face. All right. That's how it's gonna go.
Yeah. He's gonna Pikachu you.
Pikachu. Pikachu. That's a good one. It just save that one for later. All right, everyone. I'm about to use my thunderbolt. No, I'm about to Pika shoot you. That's what I mean. Um, Game of the week players get so few views because everyone else is playing it. Well, and that's another thing too. Is like the
Yeah.
whole of gaming content creation is like anyone else can playing that game at the same time. Like you look at, I know you use Twitch,
Yeah.
right? So you look at Twitch and they have this whole alignment of like just chatting or
Yeah.
or what is the game? Is it COD? That's right, COD or whatever.
Yeah.
How many thousands of people are already playing that? I mean, you can say it for Minecraft. Don't worry, Minecraft is in there too. But I mean, Minecraft is so open to the imaginative that you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Still, there's mods, there's not mods, and all that sort of stuff. So Minecraft lends itself to being unlimited just by the unlimited can you get with COD other than like skins
Yeah.
and stuff? How
Yeah. That's essentially it.
you get the skin of the day and it's like it costs you money. It's just like, oh my gosh.
It is expensive too.
No, no rest for the wicked. That's a game. I've never heard of that. Um,
Yeah, Dope said that on my stream yesterday. I haven't checked it out yet. I
one,
saw it on Steam, but I didn't really see any videos about it.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was on the Steam Spotlight yesterday.
Hmm.
No rest for the wicked.
No Rest for Forgotten. I'm wondering if that's a shoot 'em up, because I
No,
think.
it's a kind of it's a Souls-like.
Oh, okay.
It looks pretty good.
My goodness. So a long time ago, right when Elden Ring. I don't know. Have you played Elden Ring?
I have played it on console in a friend's house, but I don't really own it.
Yeah.
But I have played a lot of Dark Souls.
So, uh, and it is Dark Souls like. So I bought when Elden Ring came out. I kind of bought it because it was like, oh, it's the big thing. I
Hmm.
have barely gotten past like the first big section. Right?
Yeah, that,
Not like where the guy instantly kills you, all this stuff. No, I'm talking like there's a big map, right? And I've explored some of it, but I've not taken down what's the first? Is it Godwin or God something, right? That first
I
big
don't
boss.
remember.
I have not taken him down at all. It's just like I'm one of those people that's like that wants to do brute force, right? Like to have all
Hmm.
the strength to just do one shots.
Yeah,
But
me
you
too.
have but in order to have that, you have to drink the
You have
potion,
to
and then
level up.
you have to level up, drink potions, have certain armor on. I'm just like, I can't get my money back at this point. Might as well just keep it. Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
didn't
like,
I didn't manage to get much into Elden Ring.
mm,
I did play like it was one afternoon in a friend's house, and it was just the beginning. He let me play the beginning.
wow.
And when you get out of that little shrine thing and
Yeah,
you get on that grasslands,
yeah,
I was just walking around, and all of a sudden, this huge mountain, the guy inside on top of a horse just
yeah.
fucking killed me and
Oh,
destroyed me.
oh my
And I
gosh.
was like, "Oh my god, dude, how can I get out of this?" And I couldn't because he would find me whatever I was and
Mm,
go after me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't get
Um,
away from him."
I hate that. Like I would I'd hit that part too, and I always try to go around because man, oh man, that one I haven't even beaten that guy. That's how bad
Yeah, I
it is.
know.
I've not even beaten that guy. Now I will say I have beaten like this the smaller enemy types, like the guys and whatnot. But the problem of it is the other part of it too is how much armor you have on can really screw you
Yeah,
over. And I'm just like I'm trying to do like a dodge dash and I'm barely moving an inch and I'm like, come on, please. Just let me roll.
yeah, and I played Dark Souls 2 a
Mm,
lot. I think Dark Souls 2 is I got like 100, 200 hours on it.
mm,
Because I got that one first.
yeah,
I played Dark Souls 1
mhm,
on I think it was Xbox, and I didn't like it. So I was like,
right,
okay, this game, I'm not gonna buy this game.
right,
And then once Dark Souls 2 came out, I got it like for really real cheap. It was like $5 or something.
yeah,
It was like a really good deal, and I got Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. And then
nice.
I went to play Dark Souls 2 and I enjoyed it very much. And then that's the game I played from the Dark Souls series. That was
Mm,
essentially the game that I played the most.
mm,
And I was talking to another Rumbler, Mark.
mm.
Is it, oh hi Mark?
Oh, yeah, oh, my
I don't
yeah,
remember. It's a big name with some numbers.
mm,
And he plays Dark Souls a lot as well. So he's playing a lot of Dark Souls 3. And I was talking to him about it, and he said, "Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is one of the most difficult games of the Souls series.
mm,
So that's why people don't like it a lot, and people don't really like that game." I was
yeah,
like, "Really?" Because I thought Dark Souls 1 was the hardest because I played Dark Souls 1 and I sucked at it.
yeah,
And I think it's because of the port, because it's a port from the console and it's not really
right,
the good port. But I was like, I always thought it was the first one, and then he was like, "No, it's the second." And then I was like, "Okay,"
mm,
but I didn't really play the third one
mm.
because I've never finished the second one.
Ugh,
So I got 200 hours in it, but most of it is because I got like 100 hours in the first time, and
uh,
then my computer stopped working. And
oh,
when I managed to repair the computer, I lost the whole save, everything.
oh,
And I was like, "Oh my
no.
god, I have to start over." And then I started over, and I went for 140 hours, I think, on that one.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. See, that's another thing too, is that games are a time sink, and if you don't have the time, it could be very disastrous. Just because at a time level alone. Um, but I mean, yeah, I gave up playing Elden Ring ages ago. Like, and that's another thing too, is like some games I've bought at a dealer. Like I bought, so I'm pretty sure. Do you remember when the uh, Sun Wukong came out. The whole
Yeah,
Black Myth one.
Black Myth Wukong.
Have you played that one yet?
No, I have not. I haven't been buying games in a long time because I have too many games. I haven't played them, and I was like, yeah,
Mm,
I'm not going to be wasting money in something that I probably will not play if I don't play all these before.
mm. Yeah, I had bought it, and I it's sort of Souls like because you have to
It
like.
is. It is.
Oh, I was like, I got past the one fire rat kind of person. I haven't played it since. I'm
One
like,
game
I
that
was,
it's one of these really popular games. It's Baldur's Gate 3. And Baldur's Gate 3, I played it in the PS5 in a friend's house. And I
yeah.
played it like we had a sleepover and then we were playing it on his TV.
Mhm,
And I liked that game so much. But I was like, I have Baldur's Gate 1 and 2,
mhm,
and I haven't finished either one of those. I didn't even play it before. So I
mhm.
haven't ever played 1 and 2. And then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy this one
Yeah.
until I finish at least one of the other games. And then I started playing. I even played like 2 streams,
Mhm,
Baldur's Gate 1, which
mhm,
is like really old. It's like I don't know. I think it was in the early 2000s when it was launched,
mhm.
Baldur's Gate 1. But I got the enhanced edition. And it's a little bit. It's in 90s. Okay, it was launched in the 90s, so it's pretty
Right.
old at this point. It's like as old as me, probably. Yeah, 98.
Wow.
Yeah, 98.
Oh goodness, that
A little bit younger than me.
that is old. That is like that's not old as me, but it's old. Um,
Yeah.
because I remember, there were so when my family had gotten like the Windows like of the day, the HP it was, they I think for some odd reason they got like this box, little cardboard box, not cardboard box, but a little box full of different discs and stuff. Some would be
Mm,
gaming, some would be this that, and then there was a game in there that I didn't remember the name, but I had to look it up over time. And it was called Journeyman, and I think that's what it's called. Project Journeyman. That's right, Project Journeyman. And I didn't really enjoy the. I was young, and I didn't really enjoy the game because it was very scary, and so I didn't play it through. And it was also
mhm.
whatever. Um, but the game itself is very. You look at the graphics, and you're like, I'm so glad for HD. Um, but I mean, again, games were like that. Games were like that
Yeah.
blocky sort of thing, and they got better over time. If you were to look back at the early CGI stuff now, you'd be like, "Ah,
Yeah.
oh, it looks so awful." Where I could look at something like nowadays with like Unreal Engine 5, holy crap.
Yeah.
That is crisp and as almost photorealistic as you can get. It's so the bridge is so wide, you have to build like 2 to 3 bridges just to make that connection. It's a
Yeah.
leap. Um, but yeah, I found that and I watched people do like a playthrough of it. I didn't know there was 3 games of that Project Journeyman. I didn't there was a game I used to
It's a
play.
trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, it's a trilogy. There was another game called I didn't know the name of, but it was a racing game, and I found out it was called Mega Race. You go to
Mega
look up,
Race.
you were to go to look up that on YouTube. You look at for videos and stuff. My gosh, you could tell it's old. Holy
Yeah.
crap! The early days of CGI. You want to know what the early days of CGI? Look up Mega Race. All right, and that was a game I played too, and I couldn't remember the name. I was like, "What's the name of the car?" I finally found it on, thankfully, YouTube, and I
There
was
was
able.
a game that
Mhm.
I played. I don't even remember how I got the game. I think it was one of those magazines that you would get
Oh yeah, yeah,
with the CD,
yeah.
CD-ROM.
Mm.
And I got this game. It was called Abuse. Um, and okay, it was released in '96,
Wow.
and it was released by EA.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if you can look it up, but search up
You can share your screen if
Abuse
you want.
game. I can. Okay,
Yeah.
let me try.
So there's down at the bottom, there's a little icon with the arrow in it. It's a TV with an arrow in it. You press that, and then you select on the thing you want to share or the
Okay,
tab you want
yeah,
to
I
share.
see. I see it.
Yeah. And then when you're ready, you
So
can.
essentially, let me just make this
Mhm.
mute because this game is very
Yeah.
noisy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was trash. Yeah. EA certainly come a long way down the dumps.
Okay.
And then yeah.
So this one over here.
Mhm. Yeah. It should do a like a list. There we go. Look at that.
So
Wow.
this is the game, and this is running on the browser right now. So I didn't download anything.
Okay.
It's running on the browser because it's really so lightweight.
Yeah.
And look at the UI is ridiculous. I don't even know what to play here, what to press to go. I think here.
Yeah. Loading
Okay.
levels.
And then
Wow.
this was the game, right? And this
Yeah.
game, it gave me nightmares because you have like aliens that come out of nowhere to attack you.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a platformer shooter. And
Yeah.
then, for example, there's some aliens that appear out of nowhere. Let me see if I can find it. So this game, I played this game so many times, and I never remembered the name of the game. And
Mm,
then I was searching on Reddit, I think, because there's a Reddit for old games to find old games. And
yeah.
I was like, I searched in old platformer shooter aliens.
Yeah.
And then I was scrolling down on the list and going through that, and I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna change it. Dark old platformer shooter aliens. And then somewhere, I don't know how, I found this game, and I was like, okay, this is the game. And it
Uh,
had like the monster sounds is really loud and
yeah.
weird. So
Yeah. No,
essentially,
that would.
I played this game for a long time.
Yeah, that would definitely be a bit of a scary one because you have those things pop up. Man, that is wow. Abuse.dos is what it says.
DOS is the
Yeah.
the operating system, but
Yeah.
it's Abuse the name. And
Yeah.
you can just play Abuse EA 1996. You can find it.
Wow. See, that's pretty cool that you could play retro games through a browser because I mean, you're not wrong. Like those early games, they were like they didn't even reach a gigabyte yet. Now they
No,
reach
it
almost
was
they
some games weren't even like megabytes. I had a game. I think this game is probably somewhere along those lines.
yeah.
Um, because they reused a lot of stuff. So let
Yeah.
me see here. So it's oh no, this one is 3 megabytes. So
What?
it's the size of the game, the whole game. And I played this game for a long time. It has lots of levels.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. 3
Yeah,
megabytes. Nowadays, you're almost trying to get to a terabyte with some of these games. Holy
yeah.
crap.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, I think it's like 160 gigs on PC, and I
Mm-mm.
think that's the base version without the DLCs.
Mm.
But the game is really huge. I really want to play that game, by the way.
200 gigabytes for Call
Yeah,
of Duty. That is ridiculous. Compare that against 3 megabytes for a game you could play all day. No. No. Oh my goodness. But when did they say that dope? When they say UE6 is being developed because just looking at UE5 alone, I don't know how they can go any higher than that. I just don't know how. Like I get there are some people I think there were some companies trying to move to using UE5 for their game engine, right? Because game engines, for those who don't know, it does cost a lot of money, costs a lot of
it
research
does.
and all that stuff. So using what's already there, because I think um, the for for Unreal Engine, I believe it's as long if you make like a million or over, you have to give them a percent of like that total of make of it. But at the end of the day, though, that percentage is so I think small that it wouldn't really matter as much. I'm sure it's used way. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's your ways too. But comparing to UE5, I don't know how they can go any higher with that. If you've not seen, like they have this thing that's called metahumans, right? They have this thing called metahumans where they can take like there was this there's like this there's this video which I'll show a little later because we're gonna get to our point, but it just shows you like they'll use an iPhone camera, take the muscle movements and all this stuff with your face, whatnot, and they'll use that and you'll put it onto the, like this 3D model of a face, and it'll be so feel realistic. All the movements will move onto that face. That's where we're at. That's where we're at with all
Yeah.
this.
So I'm not sure if you've seen it, but have you ever seen? I watched a lot of these videos, and I play that game, VR chat.
Yeah, I've heard of VR.
So
Yeah.
VR chat,
Mhm.
uh, like people use like full body tracking in
Yeah.
VR chat,
Yeah.
and they can move every part of their body the same way that they are doing in real life. It does in VR chat. It's insane,
Yeah.
and it really is insane that it's like a really it's just like a social game, right? You don't have to do anything essentially,
Mm,
but it's the technology is so advanced in that sense
mhm.
that people are dancing like in real life. There was a video of a guy breakdancing on that that came in, and this character was spinning
Oh my goodness. That's
with the big headset on.
uh, that's insane, and also dangerous because those headsets cost a lot of moolah, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
it is
$100.
very
Uh,
expensive.
but anyway, it is the top of the hour, and so what happens is that I set aside some time for us to self promote our stuff, and we'll continue a bit on after, because I know
Okay,
it's like 5 or 6 where you're at, so there's that.
yeah,
Um,
fine.
But, um, but yeah, we're gonna do self-promote stuff. So I did put on both ends, I did put your link tree down below. So you should have that. But
Nice.
because you're here, I think people would like to hear why they should come to your thingamabob and watch you. So sell yourself, young man. Sell it.
All right. Um, I'm not really a good salesman, but
Neither am I.
if you
Don't
if
worry.
you come to my stream, you're gonna be having lots of fun. I do like to do a lot of wordplay, and actually play games. But essentially, I've been playing games from FPS to RPGs and MMORPGs, and we always do some kind of variety. I'm not really fixed into one game.
Mhm,
I do some games like Call of Duty. I do a lot of Call of Duty every now and then. I do a lot of Monster Hunter now,
mhm,
but the idea is to really just play what I want to,
mhm,
and if you guys are there, we can hang out and chat. We have a lot of my community here. Uh, I'm not sure if I would say my community. It's Rumble's community, really, because
yeah,
we are all together in this. But
yeah,
it's a really good community, guys. If you have, if you want to be somewhere that the community is something positive, it would be here in Rumble,
yeah,
especially here in the Rumble gaming community. I haven't really seen anything happening that would, prompt me to think twice about coming to Rumble again.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, if you like Monster Hunter, shooter games, survival games, any type of game really, I've been playing a lot of them. Just come into my stream and hang out and chat. I'm always open to a good chat.
nice. And that's pretty awesome. And I will add to add an addendum to that. Rumble's not exempt from having that happen to them later down the road because they are small now. But if they get to like Twitch or YouTube size, there will be stuff like that down the way. So it is what
Absolutely.
it is. But he sold. Dope is sold right there. But at the end of it, his link tree is down below. He's on multiple platforms. If you're interested and want to follow, why not? Right? If you want to follow, give him a follow. There's that. I usually don't. I usually don't say go follow this person because that's kind of that's kind of that's kind of not letting the person sell themselves through their work. So you're earning it because of what people are coming for, not because I said go follow this person. No, no, you could sell yourself pretty well. You don't need help. I say we love Blurb. There you go. Yep, I
Yeah,
know.
that's true. We love blurps. Blurps are amazing, and they make for really good moments.
Yeah.
Mr. Tony Gaming knows that.
Uh,
So Tony Gaming was on his stream playing Kazan,
mm.
the last Berserk or the first Berserk or one of those.
Yeah, the Last Berserk, I think it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was fighting a monster, and then there's a blurb of a knock on the door, and I played that, and he was like, what what the hell? And then he just got up and said, Give me a second." Then he went out. He went outside his room and
Uh,
closed the door. He went outside the other room, and then he came back. He was already dead.
Goodness
So
sake.
there's a clip of that.
Yeah. And it would have been worse if someone said knock on the door and the FBI opened up. That would have been a real. That would have been a real one. But yeah, it's his link tree's down. But yes, it was awesome. There you go. Shorian is saying it was awesome. It was awesome when he threw his gaming cons his little gaming pad on the ground and said, "I'm done with this. I don't know what you're talking about." I think you do. You just don't want to admit. But anyway, yes, his link tree's down below on both ends, both Rumble and YouTube. So either way, give him a look. If he's worth the follow, why not? From my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, doesn't matter which side, which one you're on. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help them being seen more, like all content creators want to. Don't, let's be honest, they all want to be seen to some degree. Um, but also helps in having other people on as guests, like Aka or like Crazy Goffo. I've had him on. I've also had Comics Dad on. I've had Tomby on. I've had many other people. People who are gaming, people are tech, all sorts of people, creator, non-creator, like it doesn't matter. It's just about coming to the table, having conversations about whatever. And you've already seen quite a bit of it. So again, any help with the engagement factor on either Rumble, YouTube, or both is much appreciated. Of course, there's a link down below. You can go to that link. You'll find my Twitter X. You'll find my email. I have a thing for Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing because I don't do server stuff. There's only so much bandwidth I have as mentally, and what I have now is pretty easily able to handle. I'm not interested in doing. I've seen some of these content creators, and they have like a bajillion things, and that's an exaggeration. They have a bunch of bajillion things. I'm like, no, I can't do this. So I deal with what I handle, and I think that's what most creators should do, is deal with what they can handle, because too much is it steals from you. Basically, it steals from you.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, link down. Any help with the engagement factor, link down below. And of course, there's one more thing I do. A while back. Now, of course, I am part of the Rumble content creator program. I've been in it since it first began, which isn't too long, but ideally, people like to be in it. They want to be in it, all that sort of stuff. So I'm in it. I've been in it for a while, so we'll see how long it lasts. Basically, the Rumble creator program is just wanted to see if I could get into it. And if they change the requirements or more requirements come that I'm unable to fill, so what? I can build without it. So no big deal there. But there is also another partner program I'm part of. A while back on Twitter X, the company Proton had announced about doing their own partner program. And of course, again, I was like, well, you know what? Let's just see, because usually companies are looking for big numbers, content creators that know how to sell all this stuff, right? So, but I've used their products. They have Proton Mail, Proton VPN, all that sort of stuff. So I entered in for that, and to my surprise, because I was like, you got to be joking. They said welcome in, and so so like, great, we're gonna see how this works. So what happens is they have a bunch of links for the VPN drive and all this stuff. I'm focusing on the email one. So in the chat, I am posting a link I have for the Proton Mail. Now, what this is you can go to the website and they'll do like a 30-day free guarantee sort of thing. You don't have to pay for it. They even have free accounts, so you don't have to pay for that either. The point of the matter is I promote this product because one, I use it, and two, because they offer a few things that many people, for like privacy, security, enjoy. Like they have an ability for you to use a alias email account that will directly link back to your actual email account. So what the company, or like, you say you sign up for like a new account on Twitch, or whatever, right? You can't do it on YouTube because YouTube will force you to use a Gmail account, which no. But for like Twitch, right? If you wanted to sign up for Twitch, right, you could use an alias account, and they won't know it's not your actual email account. They'll actually redirect the mail back to your email, and so you can use that for just about any account. There's also none where it kind of helps in protecting against scammers and spammers. There have been a few I've gotten where they will literally, you know what? Let's see if I can't find one. I hope I kept that example, because there was an email I got. Oh man, I think I put it in my trash. Did I put it in my trash? I'm gonna have to check. 1 second. Okay. Nope. Nope. Really? Oh well. Anyway, they kind of zap those things before they get to you. And if they do kind of get through, guess what? They will tell you if it is a phishing email or something like that. It says it, because they will ask you to authenticate it if you believe it's true. Now, again, guys, a lot of people get scammed. Young, old, doesn't matter. Mostly older, younger kind of has gotten to like the robocalls and stuff. You're like, I know what that's about, right? At the end of the day, though, their thing is privacy and security. They're based in uh, Switzerland, which has the highest. I think it has the highest privacy laws out there. Again, using an alias email, protecting against scammers and spammers. And another thing I found, which I had to look up, was they clean the links in a email or an email of email trackers, right? So when someone sends you like an email for say like a product or whatever, right? They will, if you open it or don't open it, they will know, and they will keep sending you stuff. However, with Proton, they'll erase that, so they can't really they clean it because they won't be able to tell if you have or not. So again, you can go, it's free. Um, I've had a few people who use Proton that didn't go through my links or whatever, they use it on their own. But again, if you're about privacy security, and again, you're on the internet, there's no 100% about it. Do not think that the internet is 100% privacy and security. Any platform that promotes itself as 100% privacy and security is lying to you, and they're probably scammers. So again, the link in the chat on both ends, you can press it. It will take you to the Proton Mail. You'll see like there's a 30-day free. There's more tech stuff to explain because I just don't want to get into that kind of conversation. But again, it's free to look at, free to do. And if you sign up for, a paying like a monthly or yearly thing, guess what? You have my link to say hey, and you might get some deals with that too. So again, guys, I'm done with that. It's a long process. I'm not a good marketer or seller like you. I'm not a good marketer or seller. So I just do this thing. But yeah, I sort of do like if you've ever heard of like Billy Mays and like the OxyClean, he would always say, I wouldn't promote a product I didn't use. And I use this product on a daily. I use their other products too, like VPN or password manager, or whatever. But the mail one is just kind of easier because everyone has email, right?
Yeah.
Everyone. And so it's good, worth checking out. But anyway, but yeah, it's sort of like I saw a lot of people who got accepted into like the Razer affiliate program. I did see that.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people get other ones too, so that's great. That's a Billy Mays here. That's right, Billy Mays here. That's right. You saw him with the OxyClean. Look at this. I put it, cleans it all up right there. Put it in the washer. Oh no, I spilled something. I spilled wine on my shirt. Guess what? OxyClean washer done. Look at it. It's just so clean and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all on YouTube if you want to see all those old stuff. But yeah, that's how I go about it. So but yeah, it's kind of nice that Rumble is slowly, at least for the gaming side, Rumble is slowly getting more recognition for like people who use it for like affiliate or whatever. Um, Again, I tried it. I trying this thing because I just wanted to see. Money is just secondary all around because I have a full time job, so I don't have to rely on this. I was like yesterday when the DDoS thing happened. I was kind of like, you know what? For me, this is not a big issue. It just means I cancel the show for the day. But for people who rely on this for their bills and stuff, this is
Yeah.
a huge,
Huge
huge
problem.
setback because all it takes is one day for most people, right? It all because like YouTube. A great example is YouTube, right? You're playing to the algorithm, you're trying to keep up the algorithm, all this stuff. One day, and that's why you see so many people burn out because all it takes is one day and you're down below the ladder. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's not what content creation should be at all. It shouldn't be about appealing to an algorithm. It should be about making the algorithm,
Yeah.
right? That's what I want to do. I want to be the one who beats the algorithm because word of mouth is powerful in its own
It
way,
is very much.
especially when you add social media to it. But when you're like just constantly pushing out, pushing out, pushing out, and I get it. You want to do that, that's fine. Again, don't listen to me about how to make content creation. Make content creation what you want to do. I'm just here to give you my perspective. But it just sucks because content creation, again, as earlier, it becomes this sort of morphed monster that has a whip that says, you gotta get back to it. Whoosh! You gotta get back to it. Whoosh! And you just make
Yeah.
it, especially when you have like stuff like shorts and live streams and edited video content. I'm like, I haven't made any shorts for my streams in quite a while because I did use Opus Clips to make it, but it after a while becomes so unmotivating because it's like you want to give at least some quality to it. Like I'm not high production quality, so don't look to me for that either.
Yeah.
Like
No, I tried to as well.
yeah,
Because it was something that my friends told me, like, why don't you do some shorts, right?
mhm,
Just cut some videos up and place them together. And I was like, okay. And
yeah,
then I did it, and then like the viewership went like spiked up,
Yep.
and then it came back down.
Mhm.
And then I did this in 1 week, and then the next week, because I was doing everything manually
Yeah.
and while still working.
Mhm.
Um, so I wouldn't really like create a video like 15 seconds,
Mhm.
20 seconds, whatever. It took me like the whole week because I would go on 1 hour, 2 hours, and then
Mhm.
I would go back on the other day and go my another 2 hours or 1 hour.
Mhm.
And it really wasn't something that I would do in one day. So I put out some shorts. In the most part, they had lots of viewership. I guess shorts is a lot. Like people
Yeah.
go in and watch a lot of stuff in shorts.
Yeah.
And I got some followers on YouTube.
Mhm.
I think that's when most of my followers appeared on YouTube, or
Mhm.
subscribers in that sense.
Right.
Um, I think I got like I went from 5 or 7 to like 20
Mhm.
when I was doing shorts.
Mhm.
But then I was like I can't do this. It's too
Yeah.
much, you know.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing it, and I just said, okay, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
it.
Well,
It's too much work.
yeah, and the thing it is like with Opus clips, right? You know, it does 90% of the work, and you just have to do the editing part. But even then, people would just take the clip that the AI makes, and they would forget, like, there's some point if you have like, multiple people on, you have different camera parts. There'd be times where you could see that other person in the one frame over here, and it's just
Uh,
like they didn't even put in the time to at least kind of clean it up a bit. And I'm just like,
yeah.
even cleaning out the audio, like the ums and
Oh
ahs
yeah.
and all that stuff, and it's just like
Yeah.
and now, of course, YouTube allows you to make up to, like, 3-minute, shorts,
No, yeah, yeah.
where TikTok allows.
And when I stopped
Yeah,
was essentially like the same week that they started doing that. And
yeah,
then I think I put a short up that was more than 1 minute long,
yeah,
and that one didn't get any views. Like people were just skipping it.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, people prefer the shorter videos, and that's really true. People really like the 15 to 20 seconds videos. That's the ones that take most of their attention
ugh,
in the shorts universe.
yeah, and that's the sucky part of it. I mean, I get why people want Rumble Shorts as well, because I mean, again, they really haven't defined of who they're competing against. If they're competing against YouTube, then they really have to step up on dealing with all 3 areas:
Yeah,
shorts, edited videos, and live streams, but they really haven't done that, because people want shorts, and I get it, but at the end of the day, people treat this like a business as well, so they're gonna want the tools that other businesses have, and
yeah,
that's what Rumble has to step up to a degree. But yeah, I was like, when I had stopped, because I had made a short for like every day, like every weekday, not weekends, but weekday. So then when I had stopped doing shorts like all together and just did the live stream stuff, my every all the views I had made tanked. Like I probably get over like total amount, I barely get over 200 on YouTube.
yeah.
I'm just like, so the shorts is where it's at, but it's so demanding, and that's where I can see some people who turn content creation a full time thing. I get it, but why? Why? This should be a fun networking get together sort of thing instead of another job. Because if you make it another job, you'll hate it. You'll burn out on it. All this stuff. It just sucks. It just sucks. And I get people who make a business of it because the job they have sucks, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But like, add more to it. Add other revenues of stream. Add other streams of revenue to you because if you just rely on this, I mean, yeah, you could multi-stream, so that could be more than the revenue stream. But it's just like if you were just to rely on content creation as your being able to pay bills and stuff, I no, no, I wouldn't.
You
People,
have to be really big to make it like work that
yeah,
way.
and not
Because
only
then
that,
if you have a good stream
yeah,
coming into like in revenue,
mm,
you could split part of that stream to
mm,
have other people help you, right? Not
mm,
just you do everything in that sense. You could like I would say make the best of it, right? You
mm,
could do eat your cake and have it too. But it's not like that, right? In reality, it takes a lot of work, and
mm,
if you're going to do it like that, then you really have to put in a lot of work. And for
yeah,
some people, it may be like
yeah,
the best thing that they could do,
mm,
because a lot of people like to do this, right?
yeah,
When I'm streaming, I like to stream. I kind of like to edit videos, and like making art. That's something that I like a lot.
mm,
So if you look at my in my uh channel, you're going to be seeing that I create lots of different thumbnails,
Yeah.
and I was doing that like every single day when I was streaming. Nowadays, I toned it down a little bit. I kind of have some specific thumbnails for each day, and in some cases, I switch them up.
Mhm.
But I was doing this every stream. I would do a new thumbnail from scratch, essentially,
Mhm.
because it's something that I enjoy doing, right?
Mhm.
And I know that for other people, it may not be the same thing. Some
Mhm.
people hate doing that,
Yeah.
so it really depends on what you're doing and if you
Yeah.
enjoy it. But it's not just that; it's a whole package of things, right? So you
Yeah.
have to enjoy the whole package. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I try to enjoy the process because, like you're saying with thumbnails, like I use Canva to make my thumbnails,
Hmm.
but I made a template so that way
Yeah.
I can just drag and drop and go. Like it only takes me like maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get the next one
Hmm.
going because I have to change a few things here and there, but beyond that point, it's basically drop and go.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have that than try to make a different thumbnail every
Hmm.
stinking time. Like, again, when you have people who do news stuff, whatever, they have to make a different thumbnail every
Yeah.
stinking time. And I get it, right? You make these thumbnails that look like ooh, ow. Have you ever seen the thumbnails with the mouth open, right? Or like they do like this thing right here. It's like it's just nuts. They're playing to the algorithm, and it's just like yeah. They do like this and do like this, stuff like that. I'm just like, I just wanna do this thing that allows me to connect across the globe itself, and you're saying I have to play all these different games in order just
Yeah.
to get seen? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it sucks. It sucks because somebody will probably come and say, "You know what? If you wanna be big and all that stuff, you gotta work hard, you gotta work hard." It's like, dude, it's just putting stuff out there that probably people will forget 10 to 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
Can you just let me enjoy doing this thing? I mean, I get why some people put those what is it, like help things out there, like make overlays. That's fine. It's content at the end of the day. But for me, it's like don't tell me how to make content because I'm not gonna be here to tell you how to make content. Don't tell me
Yeah.
how to make content and what it means, or no, what's a better way of saying it? Don't tell me how to make content and how I should enjoy it. Because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that to you. I've always stated, look, I'm only giving you my perspective. I'm not telling you how to make content, just my perspective.
Yeah.
But you come in and telling people like, "Oh, this is how you do if you wanna make it big." No, how you do it is how you wanna do it. Like,
Yeah.
find your thing. Like, I think the easiest thing about it is well, maybe not the easiest because it does take time, but once you found your thing to enjoy out of this, there you go. That's the first step, right?
Yeah.
Where you stream to, how many places you stream to, that's all up to you. Flip a coin, do whatever. At the end of the day, take this mystery box and unwrap it yourself. If you need help, you can ask. There are a ton of people to ask about advice. But at that point, enjoy the process, enjoy the ride, because it can end tomorrow. That's what
Yeah. Yeah.
many
I
people
could.
won't tell you is that it can end tomorrow. QXC, great, he's doing so well. Guess what? One day, it'll take him so long to fix his computer or whatever, and he'll lose a lot of followers. It can end tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just like I just I get why some of those people do it, making those what do they call those? Like not DIY things, but sort of like those worksheets or something like that. Like this is what you do, all this stuff. I'm like, just let me enjoy the thing.
Mhm.
I get you're trying to tell me this is how you play to the algorithm, but why the fudge should I if I can just build something that play past that? Let,
Mhm.
let, let me just put it this way, right? Everyone who's on YouTube and probably on Twitch, they rely on the algorithm to showcase their stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the big thing. That's why you make the thumbnails, the videos pertaining to all this stuff. What if I could tell you that you could do something and it'll take time, but you could do something that can play past that? Would you rather play to the algorithm? I mean, you will for a while, sure. Would you rather play to the algorithm for the rest of your content creation life, or would you rather be the one who plays past it? Here's the mountain. I climb the mountain. I own the mountain. What would you rather be?
I would have rather 100% get past it.
Yeah,
Because then you have the freedom that you can do what you want, how
yeah,
you want, right?
yeah,
The idea is that because playing to the algorithm and all that stuff, it takes a lot. It's
yeah,
like it encapsulates your way of thinking,
yeah,
and you can't really get past that. you're encapsulated somewhere. So
Yeah.
you kind of get stuck, right?
Yeah.
You may be going up like in viewership or whatever,
Mhm.
but like your will to do the actual work
Mhm.
for the content creation, it
Mhm.
kind of starts to wither because creative freedom is something that is very important in any creative field. So if you
Yeah.
don't have freedom, you're stuck. You're either stuck or you're going in downhill,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, and I can understand for some people they do like that sort of constrictiveness because that they do work, people who work better under pressure, all stress or all that sort of stuff. I get that. But I mean, at the end of the day, just do what you will with this. Because I'm sorry to tell you, many of us are not going to be that that 1-2%, whatever it is, and I don't care. If I were to make enough that, it could mean that I could, do more with this, sure, fine, I'll admit that. But at the end of the day, I still have a part-time job. I still have
Yeah,
something on the side that'd be making money because why? Who in their right mind would rely? I see content creation as nothing more than being a waitress or a pizza delivery guy or all this other stuff. Why? Because it's a tip system. It basically,
exactly.
if you've ever worked in those fields, I've done pizza delivery. I've done pizza delivery. It's not fun, because because one day you'll be like making $100 one day, and the next $7.
Yeah,
Some you won't even make it at all. But the point of the matter, the point of the matter is that this whole content creator field is just a tipping system. Sure, you have a clothing thing, gotcha. But at the end of the day, how many? This is another thing too, and this is something that people have asked me, like, would you sell merch and stuff? I'm like, I don't know because you already have a ton of people selling merch. How much more merch can you keep selling for people to keep buying? It's
yeah,
like it's this weird. Oh my gosh, how do you describe it? It's this weird sort of system that over time is built up because that's what it's become, and it's sort of like this. I don't know how to describe it. It's just this thing that's just like ah right, like here I'm selling this shirt and hat and all this stuff. Like great, what about just playing a game and talking to us? Oh, but how about would you like to buy my shirt? How about coffee? How about this? How about that? I get you trying to sell a business, but dude, I'm just here to hear you talk about whatever. I'm not here to I don't I don't care about your stuff. I mean, if I were to sell anything, it'd probably be a hat. It'd probably be this hat.
mhm,
That'd be it. Will you buy it or not? I don't care. I just it's so it's a weird it's like that weird feeling you get that's hard to describe, like the pit in your stomach, and you're just like it makes you shiver and all that stuff. And you hear this reaction like, oh look, another content creator selling merch. Huh. Who? Okay. Okay. Again, do what you will with content creation. I'm just giving you my perspective on it. Cause I don't know, man. I can only I can't tell you how many content creators I've seen saying can't buy my shirt, turn it into a shirt, whatever. And it's funny, meme shirt, whatever, but it's like,
yeah,
when will it end?
yeah. But I guess it will continue to happen so long as there are people buying.
Yeah,
If there are not people buying,
that's true.
then nobody's going to do that work for nothing,
Yeah,
um
and
but it really depends. It really depends on the person. In some
mhm,
cases, I know that people create merch and they just don't sell anything. They don't really advertise it or anything like that.
yeah,
And there are people who push it actively, like
yeah,
24/7.
mhm,
And I've seen some streamers do that like a lot. And not just big streamers. Big streamers do it a lot too, but
yeah,
smaller streamers as well.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, the thing is, a lot of people want to get out of the office bubble,
yeah,
right? To
yeah,
get out of the office and
yeah,
go work it from home and have freedom
mhm,
to work whenever you want.
mhm,
And they make this thing a work schedule or something like that, right?
yeah,
Make it into a work, right? To a
mhm.
job.
That's not and that kinda changes, like you were saying, it's a work freedom, right? You've now just turned the thing hobby, right, and trying to get that work freedom, you've now made your own thing work.
To work. Yeah.
Bas
And essentially you're going to be working all the time.
what like, how how do people like at that point, like if you were to say an office job, right, or something of that effect, like you were saying, and then you try to work your way into the content creator, you're just changing one desk for another desk.
Yeah.
You see how ridiculous that gets? You are just changing one desk for another desk. What? Are you
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like I don't know if people haven't thought all the way through of just like the simple logic of you're wanting to get away from this thing and you're doing this other thing. Yeah, you may enjoy it, sure, that's great. But once you start turning it into business and a job and all this stuff, it becomes just another desk. If you don't enjoy the process, then it's not work to you. It doesn't become work to you. But
Exactly. Yeah.
if you don't enjoy this
Even if
process,
you are making money from it, right,
yeah,
and you're not, worried like, oh, I have to stream today.
mm,
Like that's when it gets worrisome, right? When you're worried that you have to stream.
yeah, yeah, and when you don't, what was I? If you, it's just, I can't. I just, I don't like having to. It's like if you like anime, it's sort of like the Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm,
The whole what do they call it? One thing, equivalent exchange. That's right. It was called
equivalent
equivalent
exchange, yeah.
exchange. Yeah, I really, if I were to leave my job for something like this, then I would want the freedom that if I didn't stream, if I took vacation time off, right, and it was like a week or 2 weeks, whatever, it wouldn't affect me.
Yeah.
That's the freedom in the content creation field truly means is that you're still working and you can't take time off, and it's hard to. True freedom is when you can do this thing, enjoy it, and take time off. And when you come back, it doesn't affect you. May affect you like a little bit. It may affect you a little bit, but at that point, it doesn't affect you very, very much because that's true freedom. That's true freedom. You still have bills to pay, so I guess I couldn't say true freedom. Otherwise, they'd be like no bills. But
Yeah. Ideal
wouldn't you like to have?
off-grid living, and you still gonna have to pay taxes and all
Yeah.
that, so
Oh,
you
that's
can't escape it.
oh goodness. That's the other thing too, is like I try to keep like any of the total earnings I get per month, I try to keep half because of taxes. That's another
Mhm.
dirty little thing people don't talk about very much is taxes, right? Oh, say you get like 300. Say like Rumble were to give you at the end of the month like 300. Guess what? You better save some chunk of that money, otherwise they're gonna come at you. They're gonna audit
Yeah.
you, the IRS, right? And that's what I hate too, is like the whole IRS thing, but it is what it is, unfortunately for right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I keep half just because I'm like, even if I don't, hey Lavistro, thank you, sir. Um, even if you are just putting some of your own money, right? Like the full-time job you're talking about, even if you're just putting some of your full-time money in that, you're socking money away so that if it doesn't take very much, like your taxes come out and this is the amount and you're able to pay out right off, guess what? And you have plenty of money left in there, keep it in there. Keep it in there. All right? Or invest. There's two different ways. Keep it in there or invest. There's two different ways. I have been doing the stock stuff, like Robinhood. If you've ever heard of the Robinhood app, um,
No.
okay. But if you do like stocks, like buy stocks or whatever, just kind of some companies they do dividends or whatnot. I've done that for a bit. That's some people have met fatal investing. That's sort of his thing where he does investing and all this stuff, and he's really getting up there, and all that. But it's a slow process, so don't think it's quick either. There are no quick
Yeah.
winners in the stock
There
market.
isn't.
But again, that's another
And
avenue.
nothing really,
Yeah,
to be
that is
honest.
true. That that is true.
There is no truth.
There
There are
there's
no shortcuts, as,
there
my grandma would say.
Yeah, and she was right. Which that's
Yeah.
she was a smart lady when she's like, "There are no shortcuts," and I was like, "You're right,
Yeah.
grandma. That's very true." And then she beats you with a newspaper because you forgot that lesson. So that's what he knows.
Yeah.
He knows. So what do they call it? They pick up her shoe or something like that, and they just like better watch it.
Okay.
And don't forget about P. What? Don't forget about P. What? I think you didn't finish that one out. Um, don't forget about P. That's not something you want to say.
Yeah. Are you forgetting about going to the bathroom or
Yeah,
something?
don't forget to go to the restroom. You should just say that. That'd be
Yeah.
that's when oh, platform gets a cut. Oh, that's right. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, you finished it. Don't
Yeah,
forget about
yeah.
platform gets a cut and PayPal gets its cut. Then you get the rest. I save my donos until after I file taxes for that. Yeah, smart person. Smart person. Well, it just depends. It depends on like the limit because I think um there was at one point the thought of was like PayPal was like if you made over $600 you had to report it in, but now it's not the case in America because I don't
Mhm.
know what it is for where you're at in Portugal. I can't imagine the taxes you have to pay. Um,
I have no idea either,
oh,
which is why I'm gonna pay an accountant to do my taxes.
there you go. Oh man, yeah, that's probably the best. Like, okay, so here's all my receipts and stuff. Can you just kind of wade through it and tell me what I
Yeah.
owe? Now, now we have here in the United States, we have something called H&R blocking, and they kind of help with it, but they charge up the butt to help you do your tax return stuff. And I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
like,
here it's not that expensive.
that's good.
It's pretty simple, because a lot of the things are already in the system, they know everything, so
Yeah, your government
they
comes to
just
you
have
says,
to put the numbers together essentially.
your government comes to you and asks you, "Where's that last dinero you had?" Like, it's only one dinero. Where is it? What you talking about? Oh, come
Oh,
on.
you know where it is.
Yeah, you know where it is. It's right there. Come and find it. It's like a dare to the government. It's like I put it in my underwear. Reach.
Yeah, reach in.
But it's a bit sweaty in there, so you might want to get a glove. That would they would do it too. It's like they'll go for their last dollar and they'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny though. I just wanna see the IRS person that gets a glove on and says, "All right, here we go. I made you touch my junk for free. How's that sound?" Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
How's that for taxes?
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's called, "Let's Make a Deal," and the deal is you have to get it out of my underwear.
Yeah.
Make the government work for it by pulling into your pants.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. But yes, PayPal, all this stuff. Yeah, because I mean, YouTube takes like 30% of everything, and then Rumble takes like 20%. So here's the thing: they take 20% for the rants, but there is a small amount that gets taken from the gifted subs because of the card transaction.
Yeah,
So
I
there's
think
like
it's like 10%.
no, it's that's locals. But for gifted subs, it's just there's a 3% take because of the card, stuff. But after that, it's
Mm.
just 97% is to the creator. So you do
Oh,
have
okay.
that.
I
Yeah.
thought it was 10.
No, local. Their Rumble owns locals. That's their like
Mhm.
Patreon sort of thing, and they
Yeah.
take 10%. They take 10% from the on that side. So there's that. But yeah, it's really a weird finicky thing. And then you find out like Twitch takes like 50% and all this other stuff. And you're
Yeah.
like, how much do they actually make? And
And
oh,
then PayPal takes a cut as well.
oh gosh. Yeah, PayPal and their little money
And then
going.
in my case, if I were to exchange it to
Uh-huh.
euros, then
Yeah.
that they would take another cut.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forget.
So
Yeah.
I generally keep it there as dollars.
Mm,
And if I buy something online, and I use it with the dollars without paying exchange essentially.
nice. Now, what isn't so they're just euros, or does Portugal have its own currency?
No, it's just euros here. Yeah.
Wow, that's like so the Euros is the whole European Union thing, and
Not whole. I think we have some countries that are part of the economic
yeah,
region but don't really have euros. I mean,
mm,
like you can go into some stores and you see like they have the prices in euros, they have the prices in I think Czech crowns or
oh
was
yeah,
Swiss crowns, something like
mm,
that.
yeah,
And then you have like three different price tags and with different currencies essentially.
wow,
In a lot of tourist cities is like that. Like
wow.
dollars as well. In some cases, you see dollar signs as well.
Yeah. And this other thing too is where you have a lot of different countries with different languages, but it seems like English is starting to become number one.
Mm, yeah, I mean, it has been for a while, hasn't it?
Well, I
They
mean, just
say Mandarin is, but it's because of the sheer population that they have in China, but English has always been the most widely adopted language, I would say,
Yeah.
because in university, so I'm a biologist, and in
Wow.
university, we don't really do any papers in Portuguese.
Mm,
So generally, if you want to publish your paper, your scientific paper, it's either in English,
mm,
and if you do it in like small publications,
mm.
local, then you would put it in Portuguese. But in most cases, you put it in English. So
Wow.
even the scientific community is essentially it's all done in English because it's the most widespread, right? It's a convention of sorts that is really widely spread throughout the world, and
Yeah.
I guess it bled out, into various areas as well. And
Yeah.
today it really is the most widely spread, I would say.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's just a form of again communication to a degree, but when you're in a different country, right, you go to like Thailand or whatever, it's very hard to, some people can't learn a language in a week or so to go speak a
No.
language, so they have to have some semblance of what they come from. I mean, it could be any country too, like many countries visit other countries and all stuff. Like I can't, I don't know how many countries visit like the United States and visit all the touristy places and whatnot. Hey Gina, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Um,
Hello.
you missed all the good stuff, Gina. I'm sorry. We were talking about the government reaching into our underwear to get the money, so you
Yeah.
kind of missed that. That was a fun part. Um, but yeah, it's sort of and it's just a funny kind of notion where you have different languages, Spanish, Portuguese, all this stuff, and yet English is slowly becoming sort of like the full global language, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like it just permeates because again, like you said, your papers, your scientific papers, they have to be in English because that's the community most of you deal with and all this sort of stuff. So um on that regard, because and that's pretty awesome for being a biologist, so that's pretty interesting. I bet you get questions a lot about all that's going on.
Oh, my subject of study was these guys.
What are
So
those?
that's essentially. So these
What?
are jumping spiders.
Oh, okay.
This is a jumping spider. I drew this myself, essentially, and that this is why my whole streaming persona is in regards to spiders, right? I
Nice.
like the color red, and I
Mhm.
like spiders. So Akagumo in Japanese would be a red spider,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, I like the color red too. Well, obviously, yeah, I don't like blood red though. It's just with reasons. But I like the color red too, and that's how I got this. I'll have to get a new hat soon because it's starting to wear. But that's how it just this hat just came like an idea. I
Hmm.
was at a mall, there's a mall near me, and they have a place in there where they make hats. So you can customize hats. So it's like sports hats and whatnot. And I was not for me, but you can customize hats too. So I
Yeah,
went in to get the hat customized, and I already had the name way before that. I just went to customize that because, like, if you think about it, right? People like have to put like a little symbol or something. Like it was part that was part of the idea, not the full idea, but part of the idea was is that people have to put like this little weird watermark in their stuff now because you see all the stealing streams and whatnot. I can just put this up here and that's my watermark.
yeah,
Like you can see it's like, oh he has his red hat and all. And it's also part of the brand too, like the sunglasses. But
yeah,
you have this sort of name tag thing on there, and it's like it's hard to like get rid of. You could blur it out, but you'd have to do in the work to like blur out the name. And so it makes a lot of work for people who just want to steal easily. Um and Gina says, after the government, they don't deserve my panties. At least take me out for dinner before taking out my stuff. Well, young lady, I hear dessert is calling. And then I think we have some jumping spiders here in Ohio. They have orange on their abdomen.
yeah. So in Brazil was at least until I finished, and
Mhm.
I moved away from biology. I'm not biologist. I don't work as a biologist anymore.
Right.
But I did work for a while,
Mm,
and they were my study subjects essentially.
mm,
I worked mostly with the taxonomy and ecology of
mm,
them, so getting to know what species are there, new species, and things like that, and how they interact with each other and the environment,
mm,
essentially. Um, and Brazil was the #1 country in diversity of jumping spiders. So jumping spiders is the biggest family of spiders in the world. So
Mm,
they have like a lot of spiders of different species.
mm,
And Brazil was #1 in diversity. I think now it's China, but it's because China has at least now more people studying them. So it's
oh,
kind of like we call that uh, a sampling bias, because it's biased because they have more people working on it. So of course they're gonna find more, right?
yeah,
Here in Brazil, it's not the case. Not a lot of people work with them.
yeah,
I was one of the few people that worked with them, and even so, it's not really a economically
yeah,
viable job.
yeah,
So kind of, it wasn't really because of economics that I stopped working with them.
mm,
Partly was, but it was a really opportunity that I got to work with IT, and
mm.
IT is also something that I love. If I didn't get into biology, I would have gotten into IT for sure.
Oh wow.
So I got the chance as soon as I graduated.
Mm,
My friend was leaving his company, and he called me and said, "Did you want to work at my company that I was working on?
mm,
They have a vacancy that I think you can fill," because
right?
we were really good friends. We are really good friends to this day, and he knew of all my knowledge about IT and stuff like that. And okay,
Mm,
um, well, I'll do a call with them and see what goes on.
mm,
And then essentially, I got a call with them, and on the I think I was working that day that I got a call with them. I was working in the field,
mm.
as a biologist,
Yeah,
and I got a call with them, and the reception wasn't good, and and I was like, okay, let's make this quick because I'm not at home right now. I'm in, field work. They knew I was a biologist, and they said, "No, it's not a problem. Let's just have a quick talk." And we had a talk, and essentially on the same week, I started working with them, and then I
nice.
kind of moved away from that for the whole biology thing. But I still worked on the paper with this friend and another friend of ours,
Mm-hmm.
which has been accepted to be published, but I don't think it's been published yet. But yeah,
Oh,
I got a
nice,
paper published at least from that
nice.
ordeal.
Congratulations, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it is something at least in Brazil. I'm not sure how it is in the US, but having a paper published, even if it's a small
Yeah,
publishing company, it's not really that easy, right? Because
yeah,
there is a lot of steps.
yeah. There's a
And
lot
we
of
took those steps. It was like 2 or 3 years just for writing and getting it all in the format.
mm,
And then they're probably going to take like more 6 or 7 months to publish it as well. So
ugh, yeah. That's the sucky part about it. But I mean, it's a congratulations because at least because I know there's a peer review thing and they have to go through all those
yeah,
steps
yeah.
and stuff. So you get judged a lot. Oh, there you
Yep,
go. Look at
thanks.
that. Getting congratulations on it. But no, I mean, I not much into the field of knowing about that stuff. So, but being a big for you, that's something that's sort of like a personal step, really, as an
Yeah,
individual. Because I mean, you put in the work, you put in the effort, and you're trying to be honest about the work. So I mean, that's something in itself right there. Um, but yeah, I that's pretty awesome though that it led to you getting to work into IT though, because that's sort of like a big jump. You're jumping from organic work to
yeah,
inorganic work, which is sort of like you're working with or in inorganic material, right? Like computer stuff, whatnot, from
yeah,
organic material like spiders and all that. But it's just kind of funny how one led to the other. There you go. Look at that. The Spider-Man has answered your question. So there you go. They are really cool though. Look at that. It's just,
yeah.
I wonder I know you've gone away from it, but have you ever done anything to kind of share that info? Right? Like the stuff you've
Yes. So in Brazil, like the best, I would say best in quote unquote
Mm,
universities are public universities.
yeah.
I think in the US it's not the same.
All
It's
right.
kind of inverted, right?
Yeah.
The private ones are better.
Mm,
But in Brazil, the public ones are much better in regards to infrastructure and overall
yeah.
experience and knowledge. And
Yeah.
they produce a lot of research.
Yeah. Okay.
And I moved from a private to a public university
Mm,
when I started.
right.
And when I got in this public university, you have to give back to the community.
Mm,
There is something like it, since they are essentially paying for your education, because in Brazil public universities are free. So if you manage to get in,
yeah.
it's very hard to get into it. But if you manage to get into it, you don't have to pay anything essentially.
Oh,
And
that's good.
it's because it's publicly funded, right? The whole population funds the
Mhm.
universities, and
Wow.
it's something that you have to do. You have a number of hours that you have to do to get some kind of. You have to give back to the community because they are allowing you to study,
Mm.
right? And then we would
Oh,
do
yeah,
lots
yeah.
of events. Our laboratory did lots of events. We went to we brought schools in, like school kids to learn more about spiders and animals and things like that. There was like big fairs and everything, and we would give that knowledge to people as well. Whenever we went to do actual field work, um, we would have like a talk with the local people and like explain to them like this animal is not venomous. People say that
Mhm,
they're venomous, but they aren't.
mhm.
And if you're killing them, you're kind of making your work harder because they control this pest and things like that, right? Because there is a lot of that. Right? There's a lot
Yeah.
of urban myths and
Oh,
legends that
yeah.
people say, and kind of gets ingrained into society, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true because you just pointed out with the doggy long legs, right? You're pointing that information out of not known to have venom. So you have stuff
Yeah,
like that where you can have those misconceptions, and that's kind of a difficulty in itself because people if the idea has been in someone long enough, in order to convince them otherwise, you really have to get down to the visuals of like, no, this thing is not as poisonous.
it is
Um,
really hard.
no, it is.
Some people, especially older people, are very hard to convince
Yeah,
that what you're telling them is true. They say, "No, I have heard this my whole life, so I'm
yeah,
gonna stick with it." It's
yeah.
essentially is what they think like, right?
It's easier to stick with something you already know rather than relearn
Yeah,
something.
exactly. To
'Cause it
change your whole mindset,
yeah,
essentially.
it's a scary and that's a thing with just about, like, social media in its own right, you have a lot of
Yeah.
people very set in their ways, and even trying to have an actual conversation online is difficult because you have
Yes.
personalities and egos and all the things that go with it where it's just the biases and whatnot. It's just it's it that's why I do this as well, because I'm not judging upon based my own bias. I am over time learning and building and all that sort of stuff about bettering um, my way of thinking. Not just to change like the shake my core or whatever, but it's to
Mhm.
understand that I am a dust mite, right? I always say this, right? If you really want to wake yourself up, right? You are a dust mite on a blue marble circling a golden sun in a nigh infinite universe, and you think the worst thing in the world right now is taxes. I'm gonna tell you right. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's no other way for us to live off this planet. There are no ships. You can ask Elon all day long about ships and stuff. But at the end of the day, right now, if something were to happen, that's it. Humanity's done
Yeah.
for. Now, I'm not saying that is going to happen. I believe most people who try to predict disasters or whatever are really just reaching. And
Yeah.
we have disasters. There's earthquakes and all this stuff, but we're on a planet that's moving. It's
Yeah.
constantly
The
moving. Its plates
I
are
think
moving.
that one of the things that people kind of forget, it's one of the things that also, um, I think it's something that it is kind of ingrained into us biologically as well, evolutionary, I would say. Um, you, it's very hard to grasp the concept of time period, right? For in the scale of the
Mhm.
universe, for example. So, uh, you may think, right, 100 years is a lot
Yeah.
because we don't live that long.
No.
But say for a tortoise, a giant tortoise,
Mhm.
that is not that much because they live over 100 years
Yeah.
essentially.
150, I believe, is the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. So you go. It's a question of perspective. So
Yeah.
these kinds of disasters, they are always happening. They're
Yeah.
happening at this very moment,
Yeah.
but it takes a long time for
Yeah.
them to actually
Yeah.
concretize to actually go into fruition, right? To the very end, I would say.
Yeah. It there it's almost like a glacier, but it's like a slow moving disaster. It's very
Yeah.
slow. You can see it miles away and you have plenty of time to worry about it, whatnot. I think I'm not gonna say all, but I do believe because again, you do have people who take like the end of the worlders, right? The doomers, or whatever you want to call them, and will take that this is the end of the world. It's like you'll outlive the supposed end of the world. You'll be dead
Yeah.
before the end of the world. Like right now, people in the 1800s, there were some people in the 1800s who said the end of the world was happening right then. Guess
Yeah.
what? They're dead.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
it's something that I heard like since I was a kid, people saying like, "Oh, the world is gonna end."
yeah,
And yeah, I'm gonna be dead, and the world is gonna be still here. So
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you'll have them talk about like the sun has billions of years and all this sort of stuff, but I don't know if they really know the basing on
Mhm.
math and all that stuff. But at the end of the
Math,
day,
yeah,
the end of the world, if there is going to be an end, no one will know. No one will know. You can
yeah,
predict, you can take all the numbers you want and try to, but at the end of the day, I mean, yes, there's a thing as entropy and all this stuff, things do decay and end, stars explode, but it takes them millions and
yeah,
millions of years. I mean, I think supposedly Earth is at like billions, but who knows at this
yeah.
point. The point of
It's
the matter
around
is
4.5, 4.6.
yeah. The point of the matter is that the end of the world is not going to be here now. You'll most likely be dead before any sort of end of the world will
Yeah,
be. So enjoy life, uh,
enjoy
and
it.
and try not to live in places where it's earthquakey. So if you're in California, I'd
Oof.
uh, I'd start thinking differently. Not just because of all the stuff that's going on in California, but
Yeah.
just because there's a little thing called the San Andreas Fault, and if something happens to that, well, goodbye part of Florida, California.
Yeah.
Old people are stubborn. Well, yes, but you're old too, there, Gina. Come on now. She's still
We're
beautiful.
all old.
Yeah, we're all old at a certain point. This is no tone in text. There is no tone in text. It's true. It's true. You're old but beautiful. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, it is the top of the hour again, and I think we're gonna start winding it down from there. Now, I am gonna do a bit of a wrap up portion. I don't know if you're part of the creator program, but I am, and so I still
Mhm.
have to fulfill my premium things, which I get. I get. I don't like the stipulation I have to fill a premium, but the premium is so small and it
Mhm.
conjoins to the total amount, so it is what it is. But you'll get to be joining me in making memes. So who here wants to stay for making memes? Okay, because I made a few, and I'll show off a few that I've made. But regardless, that's gonna happen at the end of the show, after the end of the show. But if you are just a regular person and don't have Rumble Premium, that's okay. You get to enjoy the full show, and I'm glad you're here. So thank you for that. But before we do anything else, we are going to do our self promotion, then kind of go into the extra bit, and then questions from a hat. Oh yeah, people like questions from a hat. So good sir, Aka Akamakabaka. No, Spider-Man, basically at this point. Uh you even if you're not a good sailor, you know how to do your stuff, so the floor is yours.
Okay. Right. So again, I think I forgot to say this earlier, but we're doing also game giveaways when we're reaching like certain milestones in
Nice.
the following count. So right now we're at 122.
Mm,
We're going to get to 150, and that's going to be one giveaway. And at
nice.
200, we're also going to have another giveaway,
Mm-hmm.
which are games that I have played before. Some of them I like very much, like the one I gave away at 100.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tony Gaming, that was here earlier. He's the one who got that.
Nice.
And we joked around that he's kind of a mod and
Mm,
a very present person on my streams, and it was like, yeah,
mm,
it's not rigged, guys. It's just he was there at the moment, and he was fortunate enough to be chosen.
mm,
And yeah, I'm going to be doing game giveaways. We're going to be playing various different types of games
mm.
today. Uh, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to get into our stream, and we're going to be playing some Warzone and Arena Breakout. That's
Nice.
first-person shooters, both of them. And at the end as well, I want to kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, we're going to be doing lots of things, and it's a very tight community. Everyone who is there knows each other, and we talk about various themes.
Mm,
And just if you like anything that you heard, or you like actual gameplay for FPS games, RPGs, and whatever, just stop by. leave a message. We always like to chat. Blurps are always very much appreciated and fun. I really like blurps.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Nice.
if you want to drop by, just drop by. We're gonna be live in a few minutes after we finish up here.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's pretty awesome. And also, I saw you reply to by accident for Rumble Labs on when he opened it up again for people to join. So
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I actually had him on not too a few months ago.
I
So
was on that. I was on chat on that one.
okay,
I think, yeah, I was. Yeah, you
yeah,
had a
he's
big
pretty.
dog.
Yeah, from Sylvania. I was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from Sylvania." I was like, "Wait a second." But it's like
Yeah,
he
yeah, I
has.
remember.
But he's a dude who has a lot of years of software manager stuff. So like him and doing
Yeah,
Rumble Labs and all stuff, why it looks the way it looks and all that stuff, that's years of experience right there.
yeah,
So but yeah, I did enjoy
exactly.
having him on. Doggies. Yeah. You yeah, doggies. Oh, you have a dog?
I do.
Oh. Well she might want to
She's one of my emotes.
oh. Oh, well there you
I
go.
think she's sleeping. Chibi, chibi, come here. Oh, she's in her house. I don't think she wants to come out.
It's all right. Well, what's the breed?
She's. Let me see if I can show her. She's wearing a little strawberry suit.
Oh, look at that.
It's
Look.
green, so it doesn't. It's the green
Oh.
screen.
Oh, look
She's
at that.
a Yorkie and a Yorkie Chihuahua mix,
Oh, how old?
essentially. Oh, she's really young. She's not even 1 year old. I think uh, the vet said she was around 8 to 9 months old.
Oh.
She's we adopted her,
Uh-huh.
and she was on a farm essentially,
Wow.
very neglected. Very neglected.
Oh.
Lots of fleas and things like that. So we
Ah,
we we did so I have let me see if I can show it. So with my um biology knowledge, I do this oil, which is a clove oil.
uh-huh.
Right, so clove,
Okay.
and I kind of extract them here at home, and this is really good for external exoparasites,
Ah,
and
really?
it's good for lots of things, but essentially, it was found in one research paper that clove oil is the least aggressive on the skin of dogs. So you could actually use it as some kind of shampoo to give a
Really?
shower and a bath, and it
Uh-huh.
would kill all the fleas, and the fleas all died. So it
What?
really is really good.
What? So basically, so a clove, like you're talking about the clove bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can.
Because I know
So
what
essentially,
wow. And what do you how do you make it?
essentially, it's an alcohol extract. So you just put it in as much. The alcohol needs to be as pure as possible. This
Right,
one is, I think, 98% or something like that.
right.
And then you just, if you have like the means to, like in
Mm,
laboratory, we would use the centrifuges
yeah.
to spin them around, and that would make it. It is very good for any type of, like uh, I don't know how can I
Burns?
say this, wounds,
Oh,
burns,
okay.
anything like that. I use it for a lot of stuff. It's the thing that dentists use generally for like topic
Mm,
uh, anesthesia for
mhm.
for the tooth.
Nice.
And in the lab, we would just place it on a centrifuge and leave it for like 8 hours or something, mixing up. But
Ah.
at home, I just leave it sitting for like weeks. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get to that stage,
Oh
and then
man,
I
that's
just keep
rough.
it. I just keep it on there. That it will keep getting even more, extracting even more from it, and it's
Mhm.
really good. Yeah,
Okay.
I love this thing. I love this thing. My brother
Mhm.
jokes around with me like, "Oh, you cut your arm off? Put some clove oil on it. That's gonna work,"
Yeah.
because I use it a lot.
Wow. So yeah, as he stated, pure try to get as pure. I mean, rubbing alcohol here is sort of like 97 something percent.
Okay.
So we can get close to, just not like high grade like some places can get. But I mean, so cloves and rubbing alcohol, and just set it for weeks.
Yeah.
Set it for weeks.
Just
So if you
if you
have,
have some kind of centrifuge or something that will mix it for you without actually, breaking it apart, then you
yeah,
could use that.
yeah.
I know there is some there's like a magnet that you place inside, and you place it on top of
Oh,
the
that's right.
base,
Yeah.
and it spins inside.
Yeah.
That also works a lot. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's
so
it's
it
like.
depends. I just leave it, and it's fine. It works really good.
But this is a good thing for like pet owners and stuff to know, like cloves, rubbing, a high percentage of rubbing alcohol, and just set it for weeks. Because I don't I don't think people rely on vets and stuff, or buying those little things you get at a store to kind of like the collars and
Yeah.
whatnot. But you're basically giving something that's natural out there. I mean, I don't know how
Mhm.
natural rubbing alcohol is, but I mean that's a little different thing. But you're giving
Yeah.
something that can be made at home, and probably won't cost you more than $10, depending on. Probably
Yeah,
cost you
I've
less
been
than that.
using it for a while now, and I think that the paper came out in, I think, 2019, so it's something relatively recent.
Mhm.
To in the scientific community, that is pretty recent.
Yeah.
Um, and it showed, like, let me see here. I think it was like 60% of no 96% of all fleas
Yeah.
died within 30 minutes of leaving the alcohol and the clove oil in the fur, and then
Yeah.
rinsing out, and then the ones that were left were pretty like damaged and weak, and
Yeah.
after a while they would jump off and die alone as well. So
Wow.
it's really good. We use it on the lab. We would use it for clarification of the exoskeleton of the
Mhm.
spiders.
Mhm.
So essentially, you have a whole method that you use, that you have to put it in.
Mhm.
I think it's I don't remember the name in English, but it's the chemical. Um, it would be this one,
Mm. KO. K-
KOH. Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see if I remember the name in English.
Tanner. KOH.
Potassium hydroxide. Essentially, that's the name. So, oof, what
Nope.
happened? Oh,
No.
there you are.
Well, yeah, it's just a little blip in the radar. No, but was it potassium? What would you say?
It's potassium hydroxide. Um, so it's a kind of, it's like a really corrosive material, and we would use like really small concentrations of that in increments
Hmm.
to kind of clear out the organic structures, like soft tissue from
Hmm.
the spider's body,
Wow.
and then that will leave only the exoskeleton, because when you're working with them, in most cases you need the exoskeleton to understand how they are inside, because the exoskeleton essentially has all the pathways and things like that.
Hmm.
And then you would clarify it with the clove oil, and the
Hmm.
clove oil will make the exoskeleton more transparent or translucent, and then you could see inside better.
Wow. Oh, and he'll be back. Just refresh. Wow, that's pretty awesome. So today, kids, we learned a little bit. So take that advice. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. What happened to you? What happened to me happened to you too. All you had to do was refresh. Um, but no, yeah, no, don't forget. There you go. Oh, there you go. Now you're back. See,
Okay, so yeah,
but
for that, and essentially, and
mhm,
then with time, I discovered that the dentist used it to relieve toothache,
mhm.
and then I even tried it on myself once when I got a toothache, and it works wonders.
Wow. Is it
And
like
then
a
I
paste?
started to no, it's literally like liquid. It's like
Oh,
an oil, really.
okay. Oh,
So
so do you
it's
like
really,
swish it in your mouth, sort of thing?
yeah. Or
Okay.
you could just like put some on a Q-tip, and then
Mhm.
just gently press on where you're feeling the pain, and it goes away instantly.
Wow, that's
It's pretty
amazing.
fast. And
Well,
then, like, with time, I was discovering that it was good for other things. Like, it's a really good fungicide for fungi.
mm,
Um, and like I put it on This is why my brother jokes about this. I
Mm,
put it on one of those little sprays
yeah.
that I put some water. I like made a less concentrated solution
Um,
with water, and then I just when I see like mold building up, I just spray on it and leave for a few minutes, and then I take it off. It kills everything. The mold dies instantly.
well, I think the only big part of it is that it takes weeks for it to become a thing, though, and I think that's the other
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
Yeah. So you kind of have to like you'd have to use like regular stuff, and then you'd almost have to set aside a chunk of amount in order to have enough to like spray and stuff because that's
yeah.
it's
That's generally what I do. I have like two. I show that little pot,
yeah,
and I have another one with them around the same amount, and then I
yeah.
just leave them there. But then I only use the one that I have on the small vial
Mm.
because in the lab we would go through a what's it called? I forgot the name. The Let me see here. Sieve. So it's a micro sieve,
Oh yeah, it's
right? So
microwave.
it's
Okay.
really, really thin.
Uh-huh.
Then we would go through the micro sieve, and then it would come out like really golden color, almost like actual cooking oil, right? It looks a lot like cooking oil.
Wow.
And then that's when we would use it. So at home, what I generally do is I get those little paper coffee filters
Mhm.
that you put on the, and then I get like two or three of them, and I shove them inside each other, and then I just leave it there to grow up, and then it comes out pretty clean at the end.
Wow. Man, oh man, it's good to talk to someone who has that kind of. Your biology stuff didn't go to waste, that's for certain. So there
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
no, I use a lot of stuff in the daily life that I
But that,
learned.
yeah, but that's pretty awesome. I mean, if you think about it, right? And I know you like the gaming stuff, but if you think about it, that could be like a once in a while sort of thing that you could make a content on because
Yeah, I'm
you
thinking about it. Yeah,
you
I'm formulating it.
yeah, I just to get and then we'll get on to my stuff. I just want
Mhm.
to say because you do have this talent, this skill, all this thing. It's not to exploit, but it's something like basically you gave a lot of people, especially with pets, but not just with pets, but just to themselves alone. You gave a lot of people through what you've learned and all this stuff a an item that yes, it'll take a while to make, but they can make it at home
Yeah,
and not have to rely on I mean, you have to buy the alcohol and then have to buy the clothes and stuff, but it's much cheaper than going to a store and buying all these products. It's
yeah,
almost like a one it's not a one for all, but it's pretty darn close.
it
And
is. Yeah,
you help people in a way that while yes, you probably have to say like, "I'm not a doctor," or whatever, so that sort of thing,
yeah,
so be careful. But you got the skill in such a way that can be a benefit to a lot of people. And yeah, it's up to you if you want to explore it. But I feel like that's something you can worth exploring too. Yes, maybe you got away from biology to get into IT, and that's fine. But you have something that's quite beneficial that a lot of people are looking for. And you already know they make some people make videos and stuff on it, but you
yeah,
have an actual experience of learned skill because biology going in the field all this stuff you have all this culminated all together and you just a little vial of that stuff and it works wonders on a different sorts of thing
yeah.
you've got something and you want to
Hmm.
explore it that's up to you but that's pretty awesome so
Yeah, it's one thing that I'm thinking about doing, but it has to be on a separate channel. I don't think it should be on the same channel.
yeah
But that's
obviously
why I have a user and then the channel, right? I
yeah
separate the things.
yeah see
But I have lots of ideas. I just don't have the time to
yeah
get through it. That's the thing.
understandable
But
but it's
at one point, I'm sure I will get to it. It's a lot of things are brand new to me right now.
yeah
I just moved
take
out of
your
my
time
country and things like
yeah
that. So
yeah
I
take your
am
time
working along to get to a place where I can set aside some time to
yeah
think deeper into these kinds of
yeah.
things. But it is it
always
is something that I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, always keep a like a piece of like a one of the like little notebook thing or whatever right next to you, and if an idea pops in your head, you can quickly write it down, and it's there so you don't forget it. It's there so you don't forget it.
So so I have a whiteboard similar to yours,
Yeah.
but it's not really a to call them.
Wow. That's
Um,
pretty awesome.
it's not a calendar, but I keep like a lot of things written on it.
He's a gaming man, but he's very organized. That's someone you might want to look into.
To a point, yeah.
To a
I wouldn't
point.
say my desk is organized, but
Oh,
at
to a
least I
point.
try to keep my mind organized.
There you go. But anyway, yes, for my end of things, whether on the normal side, whether on the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leave a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps in having other people on like Akagumo or Gina or Crazy Goffle or so many other people. At the end of the day, I don't do this thing just to talk to just creators. I do this thing because I get to talk to a whole swath of English speakers because obviously I don't know how to speak another language. So I'm sorry if you speak another language, but if you speak English, I can talk. There's millions and millions and millions of people to get to talk to. And that's why I do this because once said to someone, if I just had a million people on throughout my whole of doing this, I would have content creation for the rest of my life. And why is that? Because you don't see a lot of people do this. You see a lot of people do free forum, they do topic center, all this stuff, but there's not a lot of people who just have conversations about whatever, because that is something that's powerful in its own right. And I don't see a lot of it out there. So that's why I do this. Imagine getting a million people on throughout your life and just getting the opportunity to talk to them, even if it's only once. The amount of people, it doesn't matter if they're scientists or whatever, it doesn't matter if they're the garbage truck person, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they took the opportunity up and they said, yes, I'd like to come on. And that's powerful in its own right. So that's why I do it. Again, any help with engagement on either end is much appreciated. Of course, I have a link down below. You can, of course, thanks to Gina. Oh, I can't even bring it up. But yeah, I have a link down below. You can find my Twitter X. You can find my email. You can find my DM to Discord thing. I just don't have a server. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, any help with the engagement factor, link down below. I appreciate you all. And of course, his links are down there too on either end. So much appreciated for that. And of course, I don't have anything tomorrow, but I do put out next week's schedule tomorrow. And of course, starting sometime next week, I'll be putting out the surveys they do every month for finding out issues, wish list stuff on Rumble. If you haven't taken last month's, then this will be new to you. But if you have taken last month's, they have been updated a bit to be a little less. Last time they were like 50 questions per, and they're a lot less now. Again, it's all about getting data, trying to find where people are at, and trying to get those scattered voices and just trying to collect them in this one space so that people can see, hey, this is what a big chunk of people are talking about that responded to this and sort of stuff. So that way it cuts through the fog that people believe that this one thing is the most important part, where rather it could be another thing that's most important. So if you guys want to see what last month's was like, in my pin on Twitter X, you will see last month's data collection of the culmination of that, and it will go through the stuff. Now, not all of it, but there are links down to the raw and visual survey stuff, because I know people like visual stuff, so there is that. So again, May's survey stuff is going to start next week. I just got to get them finalized, and then I'll be sending them out for 2 weeks, and then at the culmination on the 31st, my Rumble Squared show, we'll go over some of those surveys, and also I'll have guests on with me to give their perspectives of wish list stuff and all that, and we'll go from there. It's just like with you in data collection, I am doing this sort of hard code data collection in order to find where people are at, what people are saying, and all this stuff, and get it in all in one area, because Rumble doesn't do that. They don't give people a visual of what people are saying. Like 50% say this is the most important thing rather than this thing or whatever. Rumble doesn't do that. So I'm trying to do this thing that will give people that and hopefully cut through the fog that people leave one thing over another and all this stuff. Clear up misconception stuff, right? Clear up misconception stuff and all
Very
that. So
important.
but that'll be starting. The schedule for next week will come out tomorrow, and then of course the servers will come out sometime next week. You will know. They'll come out one after the other, not all at once, because I want people to get some time to breathe. But beyond that, the last thing I do with my guest is called Questions from the Hat. Now, what happened is I bought a hat from Rumble, right? And I put a bunch of
Nice.
questions. Yeah.
So, before we get to that,
Sure.
are those at the back over here? Are those also questions, or is that just
Rumble rants.
Rumble rants?
Those are all.
Nice.
So if someone gave me a Rumble rant, I would put it on this piece of paper. Now it's twofold, because uh, back then there was nothing on that wall, and people said, and someone said like it needs a little color, and it's like, okay, well I gotta figure something out. And I was like, well, if people write donations and stuff, I can do that. I took the idea from another creator
Mhm.
that was doing it, like gifted subs and whatnot. And so that was like killing two birds with one stone. I wanted to do a way of appreciating people who gave and also putting color on my wall. So those are our Rumble Rants. Now those two up there are memberships, like continuous monthly
Oh, okay.
memberships,
Nice.
not like the gifted subs. But yeah, all those post notes you see there, all Rumble Rants. I mean, if I were to turn it over, like that's the
Okay.
extent of it right there. Um,
Very nice.
but yeah, so and we'll get into that part a bit. But anyway, these questions, anyone can answer. What happens is my guest, you get 2 freebie questions, right? You get 2 freebie questions. However, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so oh well. But I'm on the Rumble side, I'm monetized. So if you want to have more than those 2 questions pulled out, guess what? All you have to do is give a Rumble rant. It doesn't matter the amount, just give a Rumble rant and we'll pull another one out. So I'm going to start with the 2, unless someone gives a Rumble rant. So let's mash it up and kind of dig in here. My eyes are closed. I'm just feeling with my hands. Nothing discerning each question. All right, I think I got one, but it keeps slipping from my fingers. All right. Here we go. Here's the first question. All right.
All right.
And
Shoot. Pikachu.
Pikachu. Yeah, Pikachu. Keep that. I gotta hold on, I gotta post a note. What's a skill or hobby you've never tried but admire when others do it?
That's hard. Never tried. I tried a lot of things. I came to notice that for as long as you live, you'll be trying other things that you never tried before. So,
Yep.
a skill, or is it a skill or a hobby?
Yeah, it's a skill or hobby.
Okay.
A skill or hobby you've never tried but admire when others do it. So it's basically like you've never done it, but if someone else does it, you admire them for doing it.
I guess I think parkour is
Ooh,
something that I
parkour.
admire people who do it, but I never tried it, and I don't think I will.
Yeah, no.
But you
Yeah,
never know. Maybe
yeah.
one day.
Yeah, it's like in the one Office episode where Michael Scott and them are doing that. Parkour! 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 Parkour!
Jumping on the sofa or the couch and hitting the
Yeah,
wall.
that's not
Yeah,
parkour.
I never tried it, but I admire everyone who does it. It's very taxing
Oh yeah.
physically, and
Oh yeah.
they do some crazy stuff.
I know, but if you can get a 6-pack out of it though, I mean, some ladies like that. All right, I'm just saying. All right, question number 2 coming up. Let's see what we get. My eyes are closed again. Where are we? Here we go. Got the one. All right, here's question number 2, and that'll be it unless someone gives a Rumble rant. Oh, this might be a silly one. If you were a sandwich, what kind would you be and why?
Ooh, sandwich. Mm, I would be a really big one.
Mm.
Like one of those really filled 30-centimeter sub. I don't know how
Yes.
you call it in inches.
Foot.
Was it
We call it foot
foot
long.
long?
Yeah,
Yeah,
foot long.
foot long. Exactly, yeah, foot long.
What
So I would be
what?
one of those,
Mm.
and probably uh something with chicken, chicken teriyaki, something like that.
Ooh, nice. That's a
Yeah,
pretty good one. I would. We have a place here called Subway, and
yeah,
they would
Subway.
have
Yeah.
a meat.
That's the one that I was thinking about.
Yeah. They would have a one that was a meatball marinara. I don't like cold cuts, so I usually stay away
Mhm,
from them. I would usually get the steak and cheese, that one,
mhm.
but I also like the only problem with the meatball marinara ones is that you have a whole meatball, and so trying to put that in your mouth while trying to bite a sandwich as well,
Yeah.
not the easy. So they should probably like try cutting them in half, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, that is the end of the show. And of course, if you are a Rumble Premium user, I will be going into the wrap up after this. We'll just be doing a few things. We'll just be making memes. I usually have it as like a time where I show people what I do in setting up and stuff. But because I'm not setting up anything tomorrow, we're just going to be doing making a few memes and having fun with it. So if you're wanting to join with me, take it easy. Yeah, you too.
Yep.
If you want to
Thanks.
join me, you can. If not, you get to see the whole rest of this whole show right here. You got to see. So again, thank you all for being here in the chat. Those who have come and are still here, and of course, thank you Akagumi for coming
Yeah, I
on.
appreciate it.
It's been
I
awesome.
appreciate the invite. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
As
We had-
again, I had that little thought at the back of my head, like what we're going to talk about, but
Yeah.
then I was like, yeah, I mean, every conversation leads somewhere. Even whatever, like any conversation can start anywhere, essentially. So
Yeah, and we got to learn a few things too.
go
So don't
for it.
forget that.
Actually,
Yeah.
I would like to say, if it gets in touch with you, or you are interested in doing something like this, just go for it. It's really good. You get to talk to other people and understand and learn things from people's perspective is really interesting, and it's something that I think everyone should do every once in a while.
Yeah, and I do it as a thing because it's just I couldn't really do gaming and all that stuff. I can do gaming, but I'd rather do that not in front of camera. But I do this thing because the opportunity is so massive, right? You talk about people like a variety stream, whatever, they do different things. This is the biggest thing that has the almost unlimited variety possibility ever, because people all over different countries, people all over different areas. The perspective alone from these different spots is valuable. And so I've had some people tell me, "Hey, I don't know what, like you said, don't know what to talk about. I'm anxiety ridden. You're talking to someone who's had on over 200 guests. Try me." I've had some people who's like trying to draw water from stone. Guess what? I'm still here. At the end of the day, the challenging part is getting people, scheduling people on. But guess what? It's worth it because there are so many people. I have content for the rest of my life because there are so many people out there, and I bring people back too. It's a two-way street with that. It's an opportunity both ways for this thing. It's so much, and yet so important that not many people are doing it. So there's that. And thank you, Livistro. But again,
another W stream.
I'll take it. I'll trying to be humble as when I can, but if you're gonna give it to me, I'll take it. But anyway, I end the show. And again, if you're a Rumble Premium user, there's still the wrap up. But if not, I end the show with One Day With You by Pogo. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And of course, thank you all for being here, and including you, Akagumo.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll see you next time as well.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having me. Okay, here we go.